Excellent.
You don't know what you're doing.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of Much to Do About Nothing. I'm very excited for this episode because one of the amazing fans that we have wrote into us on YouTube and told us what they wanted one of these topics to be, and that they needed Trayvon to be part of that said topic. So I cannot wait for us to get into it. But before we do, I want to introduce our panelists, starting off with Trayvon. What's up, Trayvon?
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here. I know one topic we're talking about, but the rest of it, I don't know. So yeah, let's go.
That is true. I never usually send out my my topics to people. Like to shock them. What's up, Mr. E? How you doing, brother? And last but definitely not least, my co-host Joel. What's up, Joel?
What's up, everybody?
All right, let's get right into it. So, we've had some news come out. Rosario Dawson running her mouth. We had Giancarlo Esposito running his mouth. We've had a lot of people that
Idris Elba as well, apparently.
Well, Idris Elba, that's different. All he said was, "Hey, I just got something big planned with DC," right? Like that's not like.
No,
hey.
I'm on Marvel. I'm talking about Marvel. Some of him coming back. That's what I saw. My mom was watching Entertainment Tonight, and he was on there or something.
Oh, he was saying something about Marvel because the what we saw from Eric Davis. Shout out to Eric Davis. He was saying that nothing with Marvel, but he has something big coming with DC, and we all assumed that was just one of the shows James Gunn was producing. They were bringing back his character.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, but we'll see.
I mean, because to me, it kind of feels like there's no way you're going to be playing any other character in DC. Like that'd be really weird. Like, what did your, huh?
Yeah, what did your girl say, Joanne?
About what? Like that's such a bland question to ask me, but okay.
Talk about Rosario Dawson.
Oh, we will get into it. I am glad that you acknowledge her as my girl. Thank you. And you finally embrace it's Morbin time. I'll tell you what. Our amazing engineer Mike is the only reason why I embrace it's Morbin time. It's for Mike. It's because I love him so much. No, but I know you, Mr. You say it all the time. But no, I want to start off with the Rosario Dawson thing. Obviously, she was at C2E2 that I completely forgot about. I sometimes forget that C2E2 is a thing.
Where is it? In Chicago.
Yeah, it's always in Chicago.
I would like to go one day.
Okay, just for one day, or you mean like someday?
A weekend. We can go for like a weekend.
All right, let's do it. All right, well, shit, I'll make sure we're all set for next year. Thank you for putting me on the spot now, Joel. Anyway, Rosario Dawson was speaking to the crowd at C2E2. I will say this. One thing that sucks for Rosario Dawson is that everything is out of context, right? So you have no idea what was said before her response, which was Jon Bernthal essentially coming back as the Punisher, and her excitement for it because the Punisher was the only character she had not had a chance to interact with out of all the Netflix Marvel shows, right? Which makes the most sense. I mean, if there's anybody that doesn't need a night nurse, it'd be the guy that just eats bullets, right? Like, like that man got shot.
Will he ask for one?
Yeah, no, never. So she clarified by saying she knows nothing. Don't trust her. She was responding to something, and that you should not take anything she says seriously. But here's the problem.
Yeah, Feige called her.
Yeah, well, you know that before she even got off stage, Feige might have been in the audience and said, "Hey, shut up!" Like, stop running your mouth. Yes, Rosario is in trouble with the Disney.
You need to have a meeting with all of them. Just sit them all down. Like, look. All y'all need to shut up. At this
point, I don't know what he can do. I don't know what he can do.
Every single one of y'all.
I know y'all are new to this. On this side
they sent everybody a Zoom link. Everybody just randomly answer it.
So, Trayvon, I'll start off with you. Do you take this as gospel, or does her saying this and then retracting it mean nothing because you believe that Jon Bernthal was going to be back regardless if she said it or not?
I don't know, man. It's the way she said it. She was like, I heard it's going to be back. but she trying to say now she got it from a fan. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you hearing it? You heard it? They was coming back. Why would you believe a fan? That doesn't make it like you heard it was come back from somebody official for you to say that. That's what I feel like.
Because you would know before a fan.
Yeah,
how would the fan know?
Just a fan telling you ain't gonna like make you repeat it. Why would you repeat something the fan said?
Oh, wait, Javon, could you picture if they opened up a Q&A and a fan said, "Hey, Rosario, by the way, you're in Daredevil, Born Again," and she's like, "Wait, what?" It's like, yeah, I just found out.
And then
I didn't even know.
Then Nala Payne tomorrow should repeat that. I just heard of being Daredevil. I'm like, you would not repeat that.
No, of course not.
No. Yeah, somebody told her official, and she's trying to back it up.
Thank you, Mike, because that was going to be the question that I posed to Joelle, is not the John Bernthal thing, because I think we all believed in one way or another he'd be back in the MCU, right? Whether it's the fan castings of Wolverine or just back as the Punisher. We all believe that man would be back in some capacity. But you're absolutely right, because her saying that he's back and that now she gets a chance to interact with him means a lot, because now I believe there's no way that Mike Coulter's not coming back, right? Again, I do believe the Iron Fist is still a looming question. The only reason I think Iron Fist is a looming question is because, again, this is just a fan theory of mine. But if Iron Fist is going to be in Shang-Chi, I could see Daniel, I believe that's his name, that directed the first Shang-Chi. I could see him maybe wanting his hand in casting a new Iron Fist. It's one of the characters that wasn't fully beloved by all of the fans, right? I think it's the only one that I think the fans wouldn't be divided over if he did not return, right? I think everybody would be upset about Mike Coulter, about Kristen Ritter, and obviously Charlie Cox. I think he's at the bottom of that totem pole, right? So, Joelle, do you essentially take her alluding to the fact that not only is she back, but John Bernthal is back, that we could just see everybody back? Like, it's a full reunion from these Netflix Marvel shows.
Including Finn Jones, yes.
Again, I don't think we have a problem with Finn Jones. I'm just saying I think if Daniel's given an opportunity to use Iron Fist, he may want some say in who Iron Fist is. I could see that.
That's if he's in charge of Iron Fist. We don't know where he's going to be for, because where are you gonna put him? Is he street level? Is he mystical? You got to figure out where you're gonna put him.
I would love him to ride both. I would like him to ride the fence.
There's a lot of characters that can ride, but like Moon Knight, he rides both. But right now, it seems they were pushing him more towards the magical side.
Right. Until we get obviously to Midnight Suns, where it'll go right back. But again, you want to explore that first before you try to make him street level. Which is why I'm like, I would like that for Iron Fist. Explore the mystic side, and then once he kind of comes to peace with that, street level the rest of the way. Just give the fans what they want. Morbius too. You just may get it. You just may get it. So that's a thing. But Joel, so what are your thoughts? Do you think everybody's back?
I don't know. I can't be 100% sure behind that, because again, when we first started hearing about them coming back, a lot of it was like, hopefully, hopefully we'll try to Cox. One of the first ones we heard, Kingpin. When that first story came out, like, all right, again, a lot of it we were just taking it as bullshit at the time, but hopefully whatever's coming out of there is true. But the names were Charlie Cox as Daredevil, D'Onofrio as the Kingpin, Ritter as Jessica Jones, and Bernthal as the Punisher was the fourth one we heard as a possibility coming back. Right. We didn't hear anything about Luke Cage and Iron Fist. That was very much Mum and everyone else too. We don't know. But I really hope so. I really do, because obviously, even like last week, I heard someone saying, because as soon as the Daredevil shit came out, everyone's like, "Oh, Punisher!" There's news all over the place. "Oh, Punisher's coming back, officially confirmed." John Bernthal coming all over the place, like from bullshit, sites. And I saw there was videos on it. I'm like, there's nothing credible for that yet. I have no doubt in my mind he will return, but there's nothing credible saying that yet. This is the closest thing we've got, because I really believe she might know shit that she probably shouldn't have said. Right. Because why are they talking to her? She's involved. We didn't know she was going to come back.
Wait, what do you mean? Why were they interviewing her?
No, why are they talking? Saying she said she heard. the other day.
Oh, got you. I'm sorry. I thought you meant like why was she at
Yeah.
C2E2? I'm like, well, for Ahsoka.
You
But I
gotta
got
see-
you.
and now she's assuming because now she's like, all right, the Punisher's back. I heard the Punisher's back. I get to do. You mean what do you mean you get to do something? Are you coming back? Because that's news to me.
Right.
I didn't know she
Nobody
was
told
coming
us
back.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody told us that.
That's all. That's all new to me. So if she's coming back too, that's awesome. And then of course, Bertha. I just don't see them. I just expect them to come together if they do it, of course.
Right. And Trayvon, again, it's not a Iron Fist works good with Luke Cage on his own. See, that's the problem. Netflix in their fuck up is why you believe that. But that's not true. That's not true. That's not true that on his own, maybe not. I think he could be phenomenal on his own if
He
you
sure
wanted
can.
to do that. Problem is, Netflix showed you all the ways not to do Iron Fist. And now people believe, well, you can't do an Iron Fist. Well, that's not true, right?
They
Same
both
way that
know
people
so
thought,
well.
same way that after Dark World, people were like, you know what? Maybe there's just no way to do a Thor movie. Maybe you just put him in an Avengers movie. And then Taika comes, and then he gives us Ragnarok, and everyone's like, oh, okay, that's okay. I get it. Okay. That's all Iron Fist
There's
needs.
a way.
Well, I
That's
have to admit that season 2 was much better than season 1, and also they were rushing the fights in season 1. Literally 2 weeks after.
I don't disagree, but here's the difference, Trayvon. Here's the difference. I could give a shit about choreography. I could give a shit about his acting. If they could put him in a proper suit, that cures all for me. The fact that he was never in it outside of a short training montage is fucking criminal.
I
Criminal.
guess the suit stuff doesn't really matter.
Criminal.
To me. I don't know.
It doesn't.
I get
look-
it.
It doesn't
No,
look
I
like the
get it.
character ever.
But I'm saying for Trayvon, who does
It's like
not
the
read
Power Rangers. They
comics,
got
I
the
get it.
fucking power suits. You want to watch Power Rangers? What up, the power suits?
Power Rangers are that's what they are. They're the suits, but I'm saying like
The suits are it makes the character.
they have powers outside the suits. I just enjoy that too. So I don't know.
Okay, but without the suits, take
Yeah,
it away. Would you?
I
still
don't want to
enjoy it?
see. Yeah, come on, Trayvon. You
I
wanna see
enjoyed the
Tommy
Power
Oliver
Ranger
jump
movie.
in
I enjoyed the Power Ranger movie. They barely had suits
There are no
on.
suits in that movie.
Barely.
No, there are suits in that movie. They get 2 sets of suits. What are you talking about? They get the ninja suit and their regular Morphin
I'm
suit.
talking about the 2017 movie.
Oh, God, no. I'm sorry. Mike, put that comment back up. Let's move past Trayvon. Please put that comment back up. Daredevil's getting the yellow
I
suit.
enjoyed it.
If fucking Iron Fist doesn't get his damn costume.
Yeah, damn right.
I'm
Now
with
with
you.
Marvel Studios, I'm sure he
with you.
will.
No,
Oh,
I am
100%.
too. But to say
100%.
it doesn't matter.
I'm
That's
saying
what-
like that wasn't
That's
a
what the
make or
Iron
break
Fist
for
guy
me.
said in the first place. Scott Buck's like, fuck that suit. And I'm like, fuck
right.
you, Scott.
Right. So what we're essentially saying is, Trayvon, that
Thank you. It does. Thank you. Yes.
Loki slaps.
It does slaps. It does slaps. Good. I'll take
Okay.
That's our donkey dick. That's what it does.
Sure. I mean, I left that movie going, do I hate Power Rangers now? Like, dude.
No.
And that's
Okay.
fine. I love it enough.
That's
That's fine. You
Juwan
can do
actually
what you
really
want
liked it when it came out of that. Juwan enjoyed the shit out
Y'all
of
can
it.
do that. I'm over here supporting. Okay. I'm over here supporting it. Okay.
The best part of that movie was when they're not in suits. So I guess maybe you do got a point.
I love this. I don't care.
You definitely have. Well, here's the funny part. We're not staying on Power Rangers, obviously, but I will say, to make us wait as long as we did to see them morph was
Yeah.
fucking criminal.
Yeah.
Like
That was
what?
a good cast. That was a waste of a good cast.
That was too good of a cast for that movie. Are you fucking serious? Too great
And
of
they
a cast.
teased Tommy, and we now will never get Tommy.
We'll never fucking get it. Anyway, and Goldar was like fucking Velveeta
That was
cheese. Like a
terrible.
whole bunch of shit was horrible.
Terrible.
Wait, put that comment up, Mike. That's the true comment. Put that comment up. Naomi Scott and Becky G might be clouding my judgment.
There
You're
you
damn
go.
right. You're damn right. They were goddesses. You are damn right. But anyway,
Look at I roll.
like Trayvon.
In my
But no,
opinion.
so I will say, stop bringing out Power Rangers memorabilia.
That's
Nope. Yep.
I will say that for me, I'm with you, Joel. You know, sometimes I feel like when you let somebody talk that is not used to being muffled, they'll tell you shit that you weren't even thinking about, right? Like they'll just, yeah. And by the way, I'm working with Punisher, and you're like, whoa, backtrack.
Yeah,
Like,
wait, what?
I'm sorry, what? Like, did we
You
miss
get a
something at
chance
San
to
Diego? Like, so for me,
That's a lot of
I just-
assumption in one.
that
one
is
comment.
right. And then like Trayvon was saying, she's like, oh yeah, it's from what I heard from a fan. And you believe that a fan knew that you were returning without you knowing that you were returning. We're supposed to believe that, right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to believe that this fan was part of the casting agency that said, yes, we're bringing back Rosario.
This ain't
and
her
they
first
just didn't deliver
rodeo.
the call. Of course it's not. But to be fair, she did this fuck up at Star Wars Celebration. She did this fuck up when the guy asked her, how was it being on the Ghost, right? And she went into how exhilarating it was to being on that ship and how iconic that ship is from Rebels. And then she goes, well, like, if we were actually on that ship. And it's like, well, Rosario, you fucked up. You already said it. Like, we now know that Hera has her ship. You're on it. Done. Right? And she tried to backpedal from it. She just loves talking. Like, she's just such a fan. She just lets it spill out.
We gotta interview her more. That's what you got. That's what it means.
That's 100% what it means. Especially if she officially gets casted in something. That's when you really got to put the interview on her. Where it's like,
that hasn't even come out yet. There was Rosario Dawson was coming out. Oh shit!
Yeah, that was massive news. But I mean, and like you were saying, Trayvon, Feige might have to do a group Zoom chat, right? To put everybody on the same page. But here's the problem. Apparently, and here's the even funnier part. The actress, I can't remember her name, that's playing Scott Lang's daughter in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, playing Cassie Lang.
Yeah.
She was being interviewed. Thank you, Catherine. She was being interviewed by Brandon right after their panel. And she kept saying, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. Right?
Yeah.
And like Brandon didn't push. I would have pushed. Well, let's see what you can say, right? Yeah. Like, what can I expect? So
it was like the interview with this girl. That was gonna be that was what New Rock Stars. They asked her question, but they weren't trying to push her. They didn't want to get her in trouble. She's like, I can't. Right. I want to tell you everything, but I just can't.
Right. You know for a fact when Iman Vellani hung up with, like, when they stopped recording, she probably said, all right, there's some shit I can tell you, but you can't tell anybody.
Yeah, off the record. So, you know, it helped that she's a fan of theirs. So like, they probably got some dirt.
100%. And put that up, Mike. That's a really good point. Because Catherine did keep talking about, like, Young Avengers, Kate Bishop, and we were just like, I don't think she understands we have none of this information. Like she was speaking as if this was something that was known, and she was just repeating it.
They don't know better sometimes. They think it's out there already. Like, oh yeah, this is not public knowledge. Well, no one said anything.
I think a lot of these actors and actresses assume if they know it, the world knows it, and it's like, well, no, that's not a thing, or scoopers wouldn't exist, right? So it's like, if you know it, it's only for you to know it. It's not for anyone else to know it.
Yeah.
So to stay in that vein, let's move on to somebody that did not spoil anything, but he did fuel the entire narrative of, well, yeah, we definitely know that we'll be getting this casting soon. Right?
Well, he did what I'm always afraid to hear them do, because then it always ends up where that never happens, because they put it into the universe. That's why when they said Taron Egerton is saying it, I'm like, oh, that'll never happen. That's how it reminded me.
I mean, that's fair, but look, so far, Joel, and again, we're only talking recently. So far, Feige is gifted as John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
But we still don't know if that's permanent.
No, you're right, but we're just talking about as of now. All we know as of now.
You might just take it away just to say fuck you. Don't get too comfortable.
Right. So he gave us John Krasinski as Reed Richards. He gave us back Charlie Cox. He gave us back Vincent D'Onofrio.
He did. I will always love him for that.
If we're to believe anything Rosario Dawson says going forward, he brought us back Night Nurse and Punisher.
She's back. Hey, remember we were assuming she was the White Tiger?
Oh man, yes, we ran with that for a while because we kept saying, like, she has claws. That has to mean something. Why do you have claws? Like,
she chose the claws. She chose them.
Yeah, we're like, well, that means something,
she was
right?
Learning how to fight, all that extra shit. I'm like, it's going somewhere, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, really quickly before we get into Esposito, Mike, bring up Mr. E's comment. I like that comment. I want to talk a little bit about it before we get into Esposito. Same thing happened with Asa Butterfield with Spider-Man. He talked about it and wasn't supposed to. Here's the difference, though. Again, if you listen to the Russos, they could be full of shit. But if you listen to them, it was Tom Holland's command when he interviewed in front of, because remember, they said that he had to do it in front of Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. It was his command of that let them know that was their pick. So I don't know if maybe Asa was a pick that Feige was interested in, and then the Russo brothers were given carte blanche to make the final decision, and Tom is where they went.
And also the
because, and also
Yeah.
what?
The backflip.
Yeah, the backflip. I thought you said the backflip. I'm like, what? The backflip. Gotcha. So I really do believe the Russos just fell in love with Tom. Like it had nothing to do with Asa saying anything.
Easy to do.
Yeah, very easy. I think there was just something about Tom that screamed Peter Parker Spider-Man. And look, Asa is a very talented actor. At that time, that was the only person you could have ever told me would be
Honestly,
Spider-Man.
he was my choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if somebody wanted Asa that were in the higher ups, I don't blame them.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't complain.
But I don't look back and go, man, what if Asa was Spider-Man? No, I am fully a go with Tom Holland. Sorry.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Giancarlo Esposito was doing what looked to be a no. Don't add any no.
Yes.
No.
Making
I love
that video.
Yo, Joel, you know what's so funny about that comment? Saying it's morphin' time, and none of the motherfuckers on this poster are morphed. Like, none of them.
It's a process. It's a process.
It's regular human time. No.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So
That's part of the movie.
Giancarlo Esposito was hinting at the fact that he has met with Marvel a couple times, right? He has heard the rumors of characters like Magneto and Doctor Doom and Professor X, and out of all of those characters, he would have preferred to be Professor X, right?
Yes.
Now,
I like it.
if he is Professor X, right? Let's just theorize here. If he
Let's
is,
do it.
this goes back to a rumor, Joel, we've heard maybe 4 years ago, which was
Love it.
there was a possibility that maybe they might want to go the route of Black for Xavier and Magneto, right? And then everyone was like, well, Denzel has to be Magneto and blah, blah, blah. Like, that was forever. People were pushing that narrative. So I'm asking you, Joel, how much faith do you put in that he might be one of these three characters by the end of the year? Because we'll know by the end of the year. There's no way this year ends. Because, again, if Doctor Doom is an end credit scene in Black Panther, we'll know there.
We'll probably know Doom now.
If Feige is telling us about the Mutants movie, we have to know there, right? There's no way.
That's still up in the air for me. But, yeah, if they're going to do it, then you got to. Those are the two to start with, I think. Yes.
Right. So how do you look at this? Do you look at this as more so like, okay, it's just a guy saying what he would like to do. Okay, whatever, let's move on. Or are you looking at it more so as like, well, we've heard the rumors for years now that they might be interested in going Black with these characters. Maybe there was some fire to all that smoke that was being put out.
He talked to them. He said it himself. He talked to them. He didn't say about which characters. I mean, in the end, it's tearing everything all over again. The same shit. Like, oh yeah, I talked to them. I brought the character you guys are talking about. That's not what was brought up, but okay. But look, it's something that's the character he'd like to play, and that's a character I would not be upset at all if that was the case. You know, if that's what he wanted, that's the direction he want to go in. He could definitely pull it off. I'm 100% fine with it. Again, I was talking about that this morning, that we're getting farther and farther away from World War II, and it's going to be harder and harder to keep those two characters in that timeline. So you're going to have to switch it up. You're going to have to update it by at least 20 years to keep them old, but not that old. Because right now they'll be in their 80s, and what's the point? You know?
So are you thinking 60s?
60s. Like that's their age right now. So what you age up, instead of the 40s, you do the 60s. What's going on there in the 60s? How can you make it something equivalent to that?
So the Civil Rights Movement, essentially. The Civil Rights
More or
movement.
less, yeah. It hits better because that's kind of when they were created anyway.
That's why they were, that's why they were created.
Yeah. It was about, X-Men is 100% about racism to begin with. There you go. Make a point.
I hate Trayvon.
But
I'd love to see him as X. He's been playing a lot of villainous characters throughout his whole career, and seeing him as a good guy would be interesting. I do believe that. I believe that people should not be typecasted, right? To where it's just like, well, you're a villain to the day you die. Like, maybe I want to open it up a little bit. So I like that. I 100% like that if he wants to be Professor X. Goodness
Mike.
gracious.
the mute
If he
button
wants to
on
be
this
Professor X, by all means, go ahead. Which, by the way, I have to throw this in because, Joel, I laughed for maybe 3 days straight.
Okay.
Trayvon
Okay, here we go.
sent the group chat a video of the scene in Breaking Bad where
Listen,
Esposito's character died. You remember that, right?
Yes.
You remember when? Okay.
Skeleton.
So Trayvon goes, "Was that magic?" And I go, "Was what magic?" And he's like, "When it exploded."
because the way they made it look like he did it, like he got mad and he blew it up. That's what it made. That's what the clip looked like.
Trayvon said, "Oh shit, does this show got some magic in it?" I said, "This show is about dealing drugs."
I
Ain't
knew
no
that, but I
goddamn
didn't know
magic
it
in
was something I missed. And then I was like, maybe I want to watch it now. And then
you
he told
should
me-
watch it. It's
And then he told me it wasn't that. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yo, when I tell you, Joel, I couldn't speak for 3 days. I was just like, what the? And I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, wait, was there fucking magic in this show? I'm like, no, that was a bomb. I'm like, no, it was no magic.
The closest thing to magic was him not really flinching. He was like,
Right,
turning
right.
around and looking
Yeah,
like
he stood there
Two-Face.
and just like,
Tied up his tie and then passed it, just
I
fell
had
down.
no idea.
yeah.
Yeah, there's not.
Oh
there's,
my God.
There's no magic at all in that world.
Trayvon had me in literal tears, bro. I'm like, what the magic in Breaking Bad?
Yeah, no.
I didn't know it was Breaking Bad. I didn't know he was in that show.
Yeah,
So-
he's a big character in that.
I didn't know.
And the new Better Call Saul.
All I know about
I'd
is
make
that
an
I
argument.
forgot
I'd make an
Zola.
argument, Trayvon, mainstream, because the man's been acting for fucking forever.
That's what
But
made him,
mainstream, that's what made him
People know him
familiar
from
with
that.
mainstream, right?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But he's been in. I can't remember many Spike Lee movies that man wasn't in. He was in Do the Right Thing. He was actually the character whose New Jordans got stepped on in Do the Right Thing, and he was ready to fuck somebody up because his new sneakers got stepped on. So the man's been acting for fucking forever.
Right.
And he does not look that different too. That's the craziest part. Like he's anti Morgan Freeman, right? Like
He's like 64, I think he is. Let me check. I think he's 64.
While you look that up, Joel, I want to ask you, Trayvon. So, what is there any character you'd be interested in seeing him play, or is this one of the ones where you're just like whatever he decides to do?
I feel like whatever he decides to do. I mean, the thought of Professor X would be really cool. The thought of, I do think he really did say Dr. Freeze from what I remember.
He did say
Yeah,
Dr.
he said Dr. Freeze. Oh, right.
Yeah, he really did
Yeah.
say that.
So he's
So
not.
I don't know. That'd be interesting, I guess. But I mean, whatever. I mean,
That's why I didn't recognize him.
he's one of those actors that I feel like should be able to call if I be like, hey, I want to be this. And he should be like, okay, just like he did for Marshall. So
There you go. There he is.
Okay.
There he is. Yep.
Yeah, he's from New York.
No,
He's
but I completely
64.
agree. He's 64.
He's 64.
Yeah,
He was actually born in Denmark. He was, and they moved to New York when he was 6 years old. He's half Italian, half black.
That's a mix. That's a mix. We won't go into why that's not really a mix, but it's not really a mix. People out there. But anyway,
Not from New York.
I think of him as Moff Gideon. I think of him as the guy in the boys.
Oh yeah, Moff Gideon.
Yeah. And,
yeah. No, I get you.
That's
I
more
get you.
modern though.
Yeah. Off topic, what should the roster for the MCU X-Men team be? Classic lineup, Claremont, something original. I'm going to make a fan cast for the X-Men, and I'd like your input. I'm going to be honest with you. I want OGs. I want classic. I want super duper duper classic. When they were in that those original suits.
First class?
Yeah. That's what I want. That's what I
Stan
want.
Lee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stan Lee first
That's what I
class.
want.
I do want Rose, but I want her powers to come from somewhere else. That's all.
You have to stop hanging your hat on that, Trayvon. That is not the only thing she
He's
could do.
not gonna kill Carol. I really doubt that's gonna happen.
Well, how is she gonna get her powers?
She never killed Carol though. Like she just put her in a coma.
That was it.
That's very different than killing her.
But also, Trayvon, in the MCU, where we just saw Thor get a quote-unquote daughter that has the power of a fucking god, Rogue can find her powers a million different ways.
This is very true.
A
Because
million.
only powers she kept were the flying and the strength,
Yeah, no.
which never made sense considering who she took her powers from. But whatever.
Could you picture if her body went, all right, look, you could either have cosmic power or flying and super strength. I can't let you do all three.
You know what's really fun about that cartoon? Binary was a character on the Starjammers, right?
Yeah.
And that's Captain Marvel. That's Carol Danvers. They never tell you that in the cartoon.
Nope. But that is.
That is.
So, I mean, well, first of all, Trayvon, let's just get out of your head. Forget that. Stop thinking about that. Don't lose sleep on that. That's not a thing.
Listen, as soon as they announce Rogue, I'm going to be scared for Captain Marvel. But
it's just not a thing you have to be worried about. Trayvon. It just really
I'm like, girl, stay away.
Also think about it like this, Trayvon. Carol Danvers has been around for what, 5 years? Like the actual character in the MCU, not her being casted. Like 4 or 5 years, if that, right? You're talking about
if you're counting when the movie we've seen in, technically she's from the 90s.
No. I'm saying just you as the watcher. You've only seen her like what? For like the last 4 or 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying Rogue might be introduced in the next 2 years. The likelihood of Feige going 7 years of a character, kill them off. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely.
But I don't want a Rogue we had before though. Like I don't want one that does nothing.
No, I agree.
Yeah, but Trayvon, I think you have to understand.
Or just don't use it.
There's a middle ground. You don't have to go too far left or too far right. You can come here.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just used to the road that I know. The one that
we all are. Trust me, that whole world, the one that they forced down our throat in the early 2000s because of the movies, it was very much hard to swallow. But we definitely all want the classic Rogue.
100%.
I keep hearing the word Uncanny X-Men all the time. That's why I keep people
not bad.
Would be a nice name. Would be a nice name for it. The Astonishing X-Men. I'd have no problem with that, Mike. I'd have no problem with that at all.
I know it's not going to happen, but I want what I know. And this is the Jim Lee blue and gold strike team X-Men from the 90s. What's from the cartoon? That's what I
mean, Joel, to be fair, they're playing the fuck out of this 90s theme song. So you might just get it. You might just get it, bro. You might just get it. You might be the only Marvel fan that actually get what you want in the MCU. You might make history, Joel. Like you might make some MCU history, right? Where you go.
They got my music playing already. So.
Yeah, they got my music. They got the lineup. To me, I need it to be established that Wolverine is not first introduced with the X-Men.
The blue shirt thing, does that have Psylocke?
I forget which one has Psylocke.
I just searched it and I see Psylocke.
Yeah, one is gold and one is blue. I forget which one has Psylocke on it. Okay. You can look up the rosters. One Cyclops the leader, and then Storm is the leader of the other one. So okay. I just forget. I forget what's the lineup. Well, who's on what?
One scene. He meant one scene.
I remember. I have an issue with the X-Men where they're playing football outside, like during Thanksgiving. Like I would love to see that. That would be awesome.
See, this is what you like your heroes doing regular stuff, right? Like around the campfire, talking about yourselves and stuff. Remember, like in the Power Rangers movie, or in Twilight where they play baseball. Like just, I'm just saying, stuff like this is good when you see your characters doing stuff like that.
I don't mind it. You look at Age of Ultron when they're just sitting around talking.
Yes, love that.
Movie,
love that. See, I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out some things I thought of. Don't do that.
Good camaraderie.
Yeah.
Team building.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just can't get over how much of a fucking cock tease that scene was in that fucking movie. They had a full fucking fight scene, and then they were just like, nope, that was somebody's dream. Like, the fuck? Like, what the fuck was that?
Bro.
Why did you waste that scene like that?
The best part was, like, they killed off so many people in that scene. It was like,
yes!
This is insane.
I was hurt.
Yeah, and then she snaps out of it, and they're just like, hey, all right, shake hands. Like,
now
wait, whoa, what?
I honestly felt some kind of relief a little bit. I said, okay, then I did. All right, cool.
I know a lot of people.
I was sitting there waiting for there to be something in this movie that I can go, you know what? I fucking love that. And then they gave it to me, and they were like, no.
Still kill Arrow, though.
Take it back, please.
fucking piece of shit friend. Anyway, so I think we're all in agreement that we want to see Giancarlo Esposito do something in the MCU.
Yeah.
Right?
And now that he wants Xavier, I want Xavier. But now because I want Xavier, it's not going to happen, and we're not going to move on.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes. Wait, you want to play Reed Richards?
I said we got Reed Richards.
Oh, I thought you said Reed Richards. I'm like, what?
We hope. We hope.
You had me confused as hell for a second, Trayvon. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
I got him penciled in, but there's a like, please at the end.
Remember, we only have what, like 6 weeks, if that, till we find out. So,
oh, it's coming.
Yeah, ain't gotta worry about that. All right, so let's move into DC.
Hopefully.
This was asked of us to talk about, so we will talk about it.
What is it?
DC. Remember the question that we got? No, essentially rebuilding it. Like, how would we start? What would we start with?
Okay.
And then whatever crazy ass theories Trayvon has about what he would like to do with DC. So I'll go first because I think Joel might share my sentiment in a lot of this.
Probably.
I would prefer to just start it in the same universe as the Batman. Oh, by the way, I was actually going to make a comparison to that, and now I can't remember what. I can't remember what property it was because it's a property that's so grounded, but you can. Oh, that's what it was. Logan. So I was rewatching Logan last night, right? When you watch Logan, that movie does not look like you could put a Cyclops in it. You could put an Xavier in it. I mean, not Xavier. I'm sorry. Cyclops or Jean or anything like that. But if you rewatch it and watch it closely, yes, the fuck it does. It screams it could have been an X-Men movie at any point. They just catered it to where you didn't need all the big names outside of Wolverine and Xavier, right? But that movie definitely is extremely grounded. But it leaves itself open that if they said after Logan, well, fuck it. We might want to explore a little bit more here, right? You could have. So I look at the Batman and I'm like, the way the Batman is structured, you could put that Batman in a Justice League movie with Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, and it fit, right? Like you not go, well, what the fuck? It would fit. So for me, I would start it in the same universe as the Batman, right? I would have them take a bigger interest in Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter would be one of those first 6 to 7 movies I launch. So I would launch Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. That would be my 7.
I have an idea.
Go ahead. What you got?
Are you done though? I don't want to.
No. Go ahead. I don't want you to forget it. Go ahead.
No. I was thinking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen after the Flash. At this point, if the Flash comes out, because it's every fucking month. I swear to God. It's so annoying.
Yeah, to be fair, really quickly, it does seem like, and we're not talking about legal problems or anything like that, but it does seem like Ezra pokes his head out of the door and goes, "It's really fucking quiet out here. I'm gonna go rob a house today." It's like, Ezra, why? It's like, it's just too fucking quiet.
Not shooting himself in the foot. This is crazy.
Like, goodness gracious, because when they say things like he broke in and stole 7 bottles of alcohol, it's just like, I'm sorry, huh?
It's almost like, let's see how many things I can do before they actually
get it. Like, I don't like money, obviously, so I need to ruin my life for 100%.
He does seem like he's one of those people that's like, let me see how many advantages I have before they run out. Man
is going to become the Joker before our eyes.
He's going to become the Joker before he becomes the Flash again. That's for damn sure. But go ahead, Joel. Go ahead to your... to reboot the universe, it's simple. We adapt New Frontier and make a universe around that problem solved. So, yeah,
like, it's taking it back age-wise. New Frontier was... 1950s and shit time period.
Yeah, that's super OG. Albeit I never have an issue with you starting with like the JSA and then building down.
Yeah.
But that can't be that should not be your main focus. Like, it should be very much just like an homage to what was.
What could have been.
You know? Yeah. They were close, man.
That hurts me so bad.
Oh my God. And I want to throw up looking at Cyborg there and no fucking Green Lantern. Ah!
Yeah, it bothers me more than anything.
Yes, kick Cyborg out. He's a Titan. Yes.
He is a Titan. You
Amen.
should never
Preach.
check him out. But
Preach.
anyway, what I was saying was, you have obviously.
Wow. Really quickly, Joe. Joe Tsai just said that his front office and coaching staff have his full support. He just publicly went on Twitter and said Durant, SMD. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I love it. Please send him away now.
But go ahead. Oh man, Mike, please take this photo down. I'm gonna cry. But go ahead, Joe.
Where was I? Oh yeah. So you start with the pillars, period. But you do have something coming out after the Flash that was a character I've been saying probably should have been in the original Justice League from the get. And I'm like, wow, you could have easily made him the seventh member. He would have filled in that Cyborg type without taking Cyborg away from the Titans. And he would have hit many different marks, because he'll hit the alien tech and he'll hit the minority side, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I love the Blue Beetle, and I think the Blue Beetle would have been a great character to introduce to the Justice League very early on and make it that seventh young character. And they now have that to set up, if they want to, the rest of the universe. And you can start with
Too young?
Hmm?
Too young?
You say, is he too young?
Yeah.
I assume his character is not that far off from whatever age they were portraying Cyborg to be in Justice League.
They were like college. They were, because you can see he was wearing the GC.
Right.
Because remember, it starts with him, not starts, but you see him playing college football.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I believe Jaime is not that far from that.
Jaime's in high school. He should be around 16, 17 years old. That's like Spider-Man, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'm saying I don't think their ages are too drastically apart.
Right.
Like, I don't think Cyborg was 30 and Jaime is
right.
17.
And this motherfucker's rocking some dangerous tech, alien tech. So I mean, I would love that, because to me, I think they probably should have done that from the beginning, and now they have an opportunity to start the universe and start it with the Blue Beetle, and that would be really interesting. Now, not when I say start, I mean restart, because you're really. Yes. I mean, I would also implement the Batman and all those other, like, there's a lot. Again, it's more of a soft reboot than anything, but now you can implement the Blue Beetle and other characters into whatever Justice League you end up forming, and it always ends. To me, it has to start with the pillars, though. And that's Superman, Batman, like exactly what he said, Wonder Woman, establish them, Flash, Green Lantern. Once you have Aquaman, you establish them, and then you can now look. There's a lot of characters that get buried. You don't have to bury them. Look, a lot of them are there now. You have Shazam, Black Adam, and whatever spins off of them, the J say. You're gonna get other characters back. Like we've heard the Black Canary. I would love to keep her. Bring in the Black Canary. Introduce the Green Arrow. Like. There's just a lot you can build from. There's a whole universe there, but you can't shy away. There was literally at one point, where we were not going to have a one specific Batman or Superman. That can't happen.
Right. And so as far as what Green Lantern, I'm fine with either Hal or John. I would prefer.
Which I think that's
I would prefer that if you're choosing one or the other, you start with Hal and then pass it to John. But under no circumstances am I okay if they just go right to John. I do need
Did you
Hal
watch the animated movie?
John. No, not yet. I haven't seen it yet.
I love Ernie Hellbacker. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, fuck about your feelings.
So you essentially just told me, like, I get no Hal Jordan.
Not at all. You do that.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay. All right. There's other things he says. There's other things that make you feel like that, though.
What he does with Hal Jordan. And it's not inaccurate to the comic books. So you can bitch all you want, but that happened.
That's fair. Well, again, in animation, I'm fine, because, there could be like a billion different types of animation that you're utilizing, right? But for me, also that was very frustrating. It's just like, damn, I love me some Hawkgirl, but damn, no Aquaman.
That was frustrating to me too, because again, Aquaman lit me left out, and I'm as a fan of Hawkman, I'm like, and I know there's a lot of guys. I get it. I'm being sexist in that regard. But I mean, it's hard to have Hawkman and with Hawkgirl without Hawkman for me. So it's just weird. So could have picked a whole bunch of different girls. Like I always say, Vixen. Give Vixen some love. God damn it.
Vixen does definitely deserve some love. So I think me and you, Joel, agree. It's the idea you start off with the Trinity, right? And then you build off with the actual other members of the Justice League, right? Your Green Lanterns, your Aquamans, your Flash, maybe bring in Jaime, maybe bring in Hawkman, bring in aspects of that. But you start off with the Trinity, and I do want them to build around the Batman universe. I really do, because I would like to see Robert Pattinson's Batman's reaction to seeing, like, what the fuck? There's a guy that flies? Like, what the holy shit? I just had to beat a guy who just put bombs in a sewer. Now I have to fight this motherfucker who can, the power of God? Like, I would love to see how he reacts to that.
I would love that. I agree with you, and I think it should be built around it, where it doesn't really fuck with it too much.
Right.
But
right.
when eventually it will, and it's like, okay, he's slowly like, there's some shit going on around me. I got to start paying attention to. But he's so solely focused on Gotham that he's kind of oblivious. Not oblivious, but it's kind of doesn't care. He's like, this is where I'm worried about. It's my city.
I mean,
you know.
I would love something even in Trayvon in the past. I would love something just grounded to where before the Batman 2 comes. And again, this is just me hypothetically. This is not. We know it's not an actuality. But I would definitely put a Superman movie. Sorry, is what I meant to say. A Superman movie out between now and the Batman sequel, right? And then have the end credit scene be Mike, I love you. And then have the end credit scene be Alfred going, sir, like, have you seen the news today? And he's like, no, Alfred, what's going on? You turn it on, and it's just showing footage of Superman, right? And he's just watching it like, what the fuck? Like that, and it's kind of just like, now we know it's connected. Whether it's Henry Cavill Superman, whatever the case may be, just an end credit scene to where he's seeing that there's more to the world than just Gotham. Now, you could go, he doesn't really give a fuck about it, but him just realizing, like, I did not know that there was this guy with the power of a god in Metropolis, or you know what I'm saying? All these other characters
idea
out there.
of maybe at the end of one of his movies, like you said, a post-credit scene, because I don't want it to distract from that movie.
Right, agreed.
But yes, to connect it, like maybe when they want to eventually introduce him to the Justice, like they do the Justice League again, and this is their way of leaning Batman in again. It's he's looking at this monitor, and like you said, you see Superman like on one side, you see the newspaper pictures of whatever, Wonder Woman here, this person here, this person. He's been watching.
Right.
He just hasn't been acting yet. You know what I mean? He's been observing. You know what I mean?
I'm with you there, but as I pass it to you, Trayvon, this has been an end credit scene I have always wanted. And Zach kind of gave it to me a little bit. But I've always wanted for Bruce to do this highly detective movie, right? To where it's this character in it that he keeps seeing, but it's like they just disappear in thin air, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously Batman saves the day. You get to the end credit scene. Bruce comes into the Wayne Manor. Alfred's gone. No one's in there. Out of the shadows comes Martian Manhunter. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted that because they pair so well, right? And I'm like, I just want to see that. I want to see Batman interacting with Martian Manhunter. I just want it. It's just so beautiful. To me, it's cinematic. I need it. But Trayvon, how would you restart this DC universe to get it back on track?
No origins. Start there.
From anybody or just the big three?
What's the main ones?
The main ones. I'm sorry. We know where Superman came from. Like, I'm tired of hearing about Krypton. Wonder Woman, Themyscira. We know.
That's still relatively new. I don't know how global that is. Her origin.
If they reboot her, then you would have to do a new origin.
Right, yeah. To me, Wonder Woman, I don't think, because you've only gotten her from Linda Carter and now Gal Gadot.
They might need to reboot her because she needs to fly.
She can fly.
No, she can't. She can float. She can float in the clouds in the air.
She can fly. No, she can fly.
We'll see. Next time we see her, let's see what she's doing. And not running.
Flying. That's what she's gonna be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna be flying that plane. Okay, so as long as you're just saying like the characters that we've just seen their origins run into the ground, I'm fine with that.
I don't need him for Martian Manhunter either though. Like I don't need like he could just be there. Like I don't know. I mean like
he gets his own movie.
I don't know.
No,
he don't need. I don't just don't see.
I would give him a series more so than a movie. But I would still put his origin in there.
I mean, what's gonna be about his plant, like his people getting killed or whatever?
But here's the thing, though, Trey. Here's the thing: the only time you've ever really seen the Martian Manhunter's origin, I guess to a degree because I didn't really watch
Which
it
has
all,
some mystery.
is Supergirl, right?
Supergirl
Yeah.
gave you a little bit. Garth
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm putting all that on the entire world having watched Supergirl, right? So it's like, I think there's a large percentage of people that have no idea his origin. Like I said, if you're talking Superman, Batman, I'll never argue with you about that. But even the
I
Flash,
agree with you there.
there's such a massive gap from the first Flash that you got on TV and the second Flash that you got on TV.
Yeah.
And then the movie Flash that did not give you an origin, right? So I'm like, you're just leaving so many holes here. There is a group of people that never watch the TV shows and they only know Ezra's Flash, and that didn't even give you an origin. It's about to, but it did not to start. It was just through dialogue. So to me, Batman and Superman, you're absolutely right. Those do not need origins. You could say that Superman's been active for 2 years or a year or 3 years. Same with Batman like we just had.
I would love to fucking be in that room when they're like developing everything and go, all right, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? No. Or now let's do this. You know what I mean? It's going to be
Right.
awful.
So like I said, I'm with you, Trayvon, from the two most notable characters in the history of comic books, Batman and Superman.
Yeah,
But to me, the problem with leaving origins as a mystery is that at some point a director is going to want to dive into that. And to me, I don't want you to do a full solo movie, your first movie, no origin, and then I get that shit in flashbacks in the sequel. Like what? No, by this point we should be well past that.
certain characters need origin stories.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Because they're just so just we haven't got a lot of them, you know. Like, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
Mike, bring that up. You made a good point, Mike. Bring that up, Mike. We got it from Supergirl, Justice League, the animated series, and a little in Young Justice. He
Young
needs an
Justice
origin.
went
I
too
agree.
fucking deep. I was like, they're going into politics now. I'm not even.
Right? You're just like, oh, there's racists in Mars? Like, hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's Martian racism.
Like,
Martian
bring that up. Oh no, bring up the comment before that one. We'll get to that one next. I do get what Trayvon is saying though. Origin stories are kind of tiresome. I get it, but I think people's ability to get frustrated with origin stories is from characters you've just seen it nonstop for. Fantastic Four, X-Men, Superman, Batman. But for new characters, you've only seen it the once. So I'm like, if Captain Marvel gives you an origin, it's weird for me if you go, oh my God, another one? You just saw this character for the first time in live action history. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, now if they reboot it in 10 years and you get it again, then I get it. You're like, bro, we got it. It's understood. But if you're introducing it for the first time, I do believe they deserve it. I don't necessarily know if I need Wolverine to have an origin, right? You could say he's just been Wolverine for forever, and maybe his nightmares are the flashbacks of what happened. But it's not starting from him becoming
if you're gonna
Wolverine.
introduce Alpha Flight, then I'll give you some origin. But if not, then just allude to it. We know.
Right. So I'm with you there, Trey. So I'm sorry, Trayvon. I'm just trying to say I don't disagree with you. I just don't think it happens as often as it's portrayed because a lot of these origins are with brand new characters to the live action world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm like, well, there's space for that if they're new.
I think I saw somebody earlier say, I knew we were talking about Flash earlier. Someone was like, now the movie just needs to end. I forgot who said it. Somebody posted a clip of like Apocalypse War at the end when he just runs and kills himself.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. And let's bring in Wally West. So I said, let's do that. And somehow that puts the Batman in there. I don't know. It fixes it where rework the damn movie, okay? And do that. And now we have Wally West. Yeah, let's just move on from Barry at this point. Let's just let Barry die with the show.
Yeah, that I don't agree with. Yeah, I don't need that. Like, I'm very much okay.
You want Barry to die at the end of the Flash TV show? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, let it go. Like, once the show ends, let Barry go.
Oh, hell no. No.
Yes.
No.
This is my list. Let Barry go in my mind.
You mean like Barry the character? You don't want Barry around? You want Wally now?
Yep.
I'm not against that.
I am against it. I have not seen Barry properly interacting with the Justice League for me to just go, oh, well, all right. Like,
I'm not against doing that, but like,
we gotta do. I don't know.
So recasting is completely out of your power, right?
Hey, we gotta do, man. I don't know.
Go to the next character.
Come on, Barry. I like Crisis. and Brigham Wally. Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right. What else you got, Trayvon?
But that means you
John-
idolize this character, that the actor and the character is, same face and shit. You're gonna see him on statues and shit.
That is true. That's exactly
As
what's
long as
gonna
they got the
happen.
mask on, it's fine. It's
Yeah,
good.
that's
True,
also
true,
fair.
true.
Yeah. You could chisel that thing to look like anything.
That's true.
But what else would you do, Trayvon?
John Stewart, Green Lantern.
How
That's
about the
who I
new
want.
one, Mike? The new one, Mike, where he's actually the Flash now. I mean, he was the Flash there too, but that was just before. The one he wears now looks like the fucking one from the '90s Flash.
The reason I didn't pull that one up is because he and Barry almost look identical half the
They
time.
do, but there are differences. You can put side by side, and we can pull them out.
True.
That's fair. So you said John Stewart. Okay.
John
So
Stewart.
right now you got Robert Pattinson's Batman,
Mhm.
right? You got John Stewart and you got Wally. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I still have Aquaman, Superman, Martian Manhunter. I'm convinced they'll never give me static, so I'm just gonna let it go for now.
Yeah, just say it.
Wait,
no.
Bring in Static.
In your world, you'd put Static part of the Justice League?
No, I kind of want him maybe around the Titans somewhere.
That'd be cool.
I don't know.
I'd like him as one of those card-carrying members of the Justice League, to where it's like you'll never be on the podium with.
Now he deserves an origin. Now he
Static?
deserves an origin.
Yeah,
Oh
he's-
no! But
he's-
I had the cartoon, Trayvon. I saw it. I get it. I don't.
We've
need
seen
that.
all these other characters every year. We haven't seen Static
Wait.
10 years ago, 20 years. I don't know how long, but it was at this point.
That's fair.
Like
Every year? What do you mean every year?
Young
Again.
Justice, everything. We've seen
There
them.
it is.
We've at
That's-
least seen these characters every year.
That's
I'm
Wiley's
tired.
new costume right there.
I will say, Mike did dive into his bias. He did find a way to put Nightwing up in this shit. I respect it, Mike. I
They're
respect
best
it.
friends, though. That's Dick and Wiley, a ride or dies, right?
I respect it.
Can you tell the difference between that and a normal Barry costume these days?
No.
You
I
can't.
actually prefer this suit.
Really?
No, I thought you were asking me, could I tell the difference on whether or not that's Barry or Wally?
Yeah,
I can tell. No.
You wouldn't know.
Well, you can't
Yeah,
tell
that's
the Barry costume looks different than that. I mean, it looks similar, obviously.
Okay,
There's
okay.
a difference.
I'm sorry. Let me tell you where I got confused. I thought you were saying, when I look at this suit, can I tell who is in it? Because I don't keep up to date with
I know.
with the comics.
All right.
So you could have told me this is Barry, and I would have said, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what I'm saying. But if you
Yeah.
tell me this is Wally, then yes, I can see the difference.
Okay.
Obviously, the
That's all.
emblem is yellow rather
Well,
than with white with the yellow streak in it.
The color is the same. The problem is that there's less swiggles. If you notice. It's like,
Wait, that's the difference you expected me to pick out of here? I thought it
Yeah.
was the yellow
Flash
and the
symbols-
logo.
the logo is different. The mask
Okay.
is different.
Oh, I thought they just made it look cooler.
Side by side, Mike.
that's
Side
cool.
by side, so they can see.
I do prefer this suit.
I respect you knowing the difference.
So if they do
That
I
was
Wally,
respect me knowing to do. This is why I want to do that
That's
costume shit.
amazing.
People just don't pay fucking
Okay.
attention.
No,
Like,
you're right. You're right. Because
well, if you're telling me the Wiggles is the difference, yeah, you got me on that
the
one.
logo
There's
is
a waistline
absolutely- is very
different.
different.
Maybe it
That
is.
logo is not the same as the
that's
classic.
definitely more bulky. It looks
Okay.
like.
Okay.
And
All right,
that,
so I
if you look at
wasn't
the
wrong.
mask, that mask looks a lot like the '90s Flash.
It does.
TV
It
show.
does. Based
It has
off
the
what I've
nose.
seen on the Flash.
It has
Oh,
the
wait.
nose.
I wanted to tell you really quick. You speaking of Static Shock, Trayvon, have you watched Sandman yet?
I'm watching it right now.
Okay.
Right
well,
now?
and this isn't a spoiler at all, but there is an episode where someone's watching TV,
Yeah.
and it's the episode of Justice League Unlimited where they go into the future, right? And Static's there, and obviously John Stewart and what's her name's son. And I was like, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah,
I
I
love
definitely
that.
got there. Yet.
And the
Okay.
kid,
I love
the kid in the episode was wearing a shirt. That's Static on the shirt.
Yes. Yep.
Interesting.
Wait. Shout out to Didge. He's asking, isn't the waistline different, Joel?
Yes, it's not connecting. If you notice.
Okay. I didn't notice that it did connect. Shit, I gotta go back and look at Flash now.
Um,
So what else are you doing? So we got your main 7. You did your main 7. Is there any other changes
Princess
you're making?
Amethyst, right? I think you wanted to add.
no.
I know you love that character. That's why. Look her up. You'd love her.
Okay, I'll look her up. I want Titans some kind of way, like big budget Titans where Beast Boy changes.
Yes, I agree.
And I want Static Shock somewhere, and I really, really want Magic users. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I want Constantine. I want Zatanna. I also want Vixen, and I really want Raven saying the damn words. I want that. So,
by the way,
and I want White Raven as well. I want her to turn like I want to go powerful. I want to like real full power. Like.
By the way, shout out to Neil Gaiman. He said we've been saying Constantine's name wrong this entire time.
It's Constantine.
I'm still saying it the way I'm saying.
I don't like the way that sounds.
I'm still saying it the way I'm saying. I hate the way they say it on there.
Yeah, no one says it right. We're gonna stick to it. I'm sorry,
yes,
God. You should have corrected us back in the day. It's too late now.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny about him correcting that? Go back and watch the entire Arrowverse.
Yeah,
nobody called that motherfucker Constantine.
The movies never called him Constantine.
That's
either.
right.
No, Constantine. You got to put that comment up.
That's right.
Like, that's Trayvon's tagline.
I need
that's
damn
Trayvon's
magic.
tagline. Put it up. Put it up. You know that's Trayvon's. Trayvon, when are you gonna make that a shirt? Okay, you got to get that trademarked.
Yeah.
Get it trademarked. If it ain't witching, we bitching. Okay. So people know. If you don't get Azarath, Metreon, Zenthos, we got problems up in this studio.
I need it.
But I will say this, Trayvon. I hope that Static Shock is really looked at, and they just utilize them as a series, right? It doesn't need to be a movie. It could be a series. That way, it's low risk, high reward, right? If you get the mega downloads for it, people are watching it weekly. They're talking about it. The buzz is high. It could do great things for it, right?
But I also want them, okay, I know they say they want to do as Marvel was doing or whatever. Please do with the characters having a series and then bring them into the movies. Please do that. Yes, do that.
Yeah.
Like, steal that.
But I'll say this. If you start with Static Shock and he's a hit, you know what that gives you the ability to do? I'm not saying that they will. Gives you the ability to do a Black Lightning movie and then cast somebody big and then have like an end credit scene of molding Black Lightning with Static Shock, right? And then you know how like you can get Barry and Wally, Batman and Robin. You can get Black Lightning in Static Shock.
You can't see the difference. Look at that.
No, I see it now, but you were asking me to visualize something I couldn't visualize on the spot. I couldn't visualize Flash's suit on the spot. But now I see it. Yeah, there's clear differences. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, his ab structure. One on the left looked like he ain't eating enough meals. The one on the right just looked like that body is toy.
That is not what I was asking.
What you mean? The one on the left look. What you mean?
Look at that. Look at right above where the abs are.
I'm looking up here. The thickness. That's awesome. Okay.
He got more meat on the left side.
Yes.
While they've been doing bench, he's been benching.
Yes.
The way y'all just described it being like a plate of chicken. He's got a lot of meat there.
I love his steak.
Like he's delicious looking.
Yeah.
No, I see it now, Joel. I see it now. Wally's full. But so I think we all agree that it should start with Robert Pattinson's Batman. That's how
established. It's definitely there.
That should be the main Batman.
It's got to figure out. Like you said, make sure it works. Make sure it. Because I do want Poison Ivy. I want Poison Ivy. I want people like that. I want people to have abilities.
Yeah, I do too. Because we got Harley Quinn.
Because to me, I feel like you're not truly expanding Batman's world if you don't. Right? Like if you're only doing Joker, Riddler, like villains like that, you're not really opening it up.
Yeah, Freeze is still a scientist. It's not like he has abilities. So I wanted to open it up. Yeah. Which
I was so confused when I was asked that one. Did you ask me that, Trey? Somebody asked me that, and I was just like, huh? They're like, yeah, doesn't Mr. Freeze have powers? I'm like, no.
He's a coach.
Like, no. I'm like, where'd you see that? The Batman. I'm like, well, that's don't do that. Don't do that. I'm like, his whole thing is the cold gun. What the fuck you need a gun for if I'm the power?
He needs to suit to stay alive.
Stay alive, yeah.
And it keeps him cold. I mean, it's all about the gun, yeah.
Yeah,
that was very accurate in Batman and Robin, by the way.
Yeah, it was, even though his helmet was for some reason.
You know what, Trayvon? If you want to go down that road, I can make an argument. That was probably the only fucking thing accurate in that movie.
Okay, see, I ain't asked you all that.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Do you want me to bring the picture up?
You can bring it up. I want to show you that there's a hole in his mask. Like his helmet is not open.
I also want to remind you.
Is it open or is it a clear cover?
Look at it. Go ahead, bring it up. Let's look at it.
It's open, and I'll also remind you that Robin is 36 in that movie. But so we all agree.
And he was beautiful as well. So yeah, man.
A lot of that was Robert Buddy.
Listen.
So let's stay in the world of DC. We got more stuff here in DC. I love podcasting with you guys. Apparently, Walter Hamada nearly left Warner Brothers Discovery after word came down that Batgirl would be canceled. Hamada has reportedly agreed to stay with the company until Black Adam is released. So essentially, Hamada said,
asked. You can go.
Essentially, again, your dislike for Hamada, I understand because he was part of that old regime, but he was supporting what you were supporting, which was Batgirl actually coming out.
Was he? Oh.
That's what the report said. I wasn't in the meeting.
He greenlit the movie. They kept one of his movies.
Yeah, that was under his regime. That he was like, "Yeah, make this, make this," and they made it, funded it, the whole thing. To me, I kind of feel as though if you're Walter Hamada, you're essentially just going, "Let me see if this franchise can get worse, because if it does, I'm fucking out of here. But if it gets better, I'll stay on." Right? That's essentially what it sounds like he's saying. I'll wait, see if they fuck up more, and if they don't, I'm here.
As I know, or at least what is being said, they talked him into staying till at least after Black Adam.
Right.
So the question is, can they talk him to staying longer? Because that's apparently they like him enough to want to keep him on. They don't want to lose him.
Right.
But he, threatened to walk basically because of them cutting Batgirl.
Right.
And I understand, but I don't know. I don't know. So far, like I said about the Snyderverse, more or less they've given us decent movies. They've made profit.
They didn't make They didn't make it.
No, he greenlit it though.
I mean,
he greenlit it.
We've been talking about it.
He greenlit it. He could have said, throw that shit in the garbage. He greenlit it.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting something back. The problem is, like, they had a weird idea that whole regime had a weird idea about world building, which I didn't agree with. Which I'm glad he's not in charge of that part of it. But when it comes to just movies, it's not a bad dude. No.
Hamada, I believe his claim to fame is more the horror world, right?
Yeah, because he was part of the Conjuring universe.
James Wan. He was working close with.
That's
James
why he came on because James Wan wanted, liked him, and he supported him a lot, so they brought him in there.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe go back to that. But as far as Warner Brothers, like I said, that the problem, and it was one of the comments in here of Restore the Snyderverse. The problem with that is that whole universe was structured for an Elseworld. If it was an Elseworld, I would have never had any problem with anything he did there, because at the end of the day, I could have said, well, guess what? This fucking only exists in its own bubble over here. Yeah. None of this shit is continuity, right? I don't have to worry about Batman dying and impregnating Lois Lane. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that.
Can't you still say that anyway?
No, not until this
the new Batman
universe is rebooted. No, that's Elseworld though, Trayvon. Like, that's not main continuity.
Make that canon then. Go ahead, switch them around.
If I had that power, Trayvon, this conversation would not be happening right now. It'd be happening.
I understand what you guys are talking about. Like, it's not canon. It's not canon though. Like,
what's not canon?
It is canon. You're about to see an Aquaman and possible Wonder Woman movie. It's still canon.
They both disregard Snyder very much.
But you can't. He is still on the name when these movies come out. Why? Because he started it all.
Well,
so as long as that's a thing, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joel.
What do you want to regard? Like, you want them to fulfill the 5-year plan?
No, I don't. I just want to look at it. Like, he over there at Netflix. Hope he does well. I'm talking about how, like, you're saying it's canon. I'm like, well, is it technically? Because obviously they're not keeping it going. So
it's not.
I don't know that to be true.
I mean, his universe, part of his universe is canon because his characters are still very much alive. You know what I mean? So it's not everything. Obviously, his plans aren't canon, like future plans.
Yeah.
But what he made is still canon. His movie itself, like the Justice League movie, more or less probably is not canon.
A
lot of us would hope, but huh?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, he casted all of them. But,
yeah, exactly. Even the bad ones, like Ezra in them. So you got to take your hits too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got to take those.
It is
what bad now. Bad now.
Yeah, but look, I mean, at the end of the day, he fucked up a franchise. He's fucking it up right now. DC is struggling right now because of that motherfucker.
Cast since 2014.
That was a soldier. That was a spy.
But again, you know what, Joel? I want to say this because I don't think I've ever said this to you, Trayvon. I know I said this to Joel, and we agree on it, but I've never said this to you. What Zach wanted to do, I don't blame Zach for, right? It's essentially like a kid you allow to stay home by themselves, and you come home and it's the whole fucking house is on fire. You've given the kid carte blanche. You don't blame the kid. You did not set proper rules for the kid to abide by, right? So you essentially gave Zach the keys and said, do whatever the fuck you want, right? So I don't blame Zach. I'm just saying what he wanted to do was flawed. That's it. I'm not saying how the whole universe crumbled was his fault.
Flawed
it was
to
just
a
flawed.
longer idea for a universe. It was fine for whatever small 5-year window he wanted, or whatever the fuck he wanted to do.
Right. So if you told me it was
let him fucking do it.
Right. If you told me it was an Elseworld, Trayvon, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because that was supposed to be a main continuity where it was even a thought that Batman would die, have a child with Lois Lane, and then they raise this little fucker to become the next Batman, that is the craziest fucking concept I could ever conceive.
It's because you don't care about those characters.
You're right. But yes, you're right.
He obviously doesn't either, though. That's the problem.
Right. So again, I do not blame him for anything. I just believe that his plans were deeply flawed.
Right.
Deeply flawed.
Guess what?
It.
The Hamada crew, they had flawed plans too.
100%.
That's why we're at where we're at.
100%. 100%. And I'll say that for anyone that blames Zach, the Hamada crew fucked it up 10 times worse than Zach did, right? Because after BVS wasn't the acclaim that it should have been, you could have just softly reworked your universe.
Sure could have.
That's it. You essentially just dropped a chaos grenade and just went, well,
from scratch.
like blow it all up. And it's like, well, that's not how you do a universe you're trying to build.
Yeah.
Not this early where you can still fix things. So I just wanted to stress that, Trayvon, because I know you believe that when I speak, it's like I hate this man. I don't. I always say he's a phenomenal director. I just don't think he was a guy you should ever utilize to build a DC franchise when the first order of business is, not only am I going to make Bruce 50, where the whole 20-year arc of Bruce is gone, right? He bought into you, Trayvon. He was like, fucking Origin. He's 50. You don't even get any of that shit.
Good,
20 years gone, right? And then he's like, I want to kill Batman by his 5th appearance. That's fucking bananas. That's all I'm saying. And you should... And here's the thing, Joel.
Dick Grayson too. Like,
and here's the thing, Trayvon, you want to know why you should share how I feel? You just spent 5 minutes saying how worried you were Rogue would enter the MCU and kill Carol Danvers. Mm-hmm. So how do you think I would have felt with getting Batman for a hot second and then dead?
I said I was worried, but if it happened, it happened. But I'm just saying.
All right, okay. All right.
I am worried.
All right.
But if she found around super straight, I kind of probably let it go. You know?
Right. She ain't gonna kill it.
Bring that up, Mike. Bring that up, Mike. That is yes. Grayson started the universe in the ground. That was
yeah, that's fucked up.
See,
no, show. He don't care then. I mean, you do not care about that universe if you're gonna start like that.
Or that character. And what was crazy was, Joel, we felt as though he wanted to do Batman way more than he wanted to do Superman. So when you got your hands on Batman, it was just like, you want to kill him and you killed Dick Grayson? What the fuck are we doing here?
Yes,
Jason Todd is right. You could have did Jason Todd. Yeah. And then they're like, no. He had a kid with Lois Lane. That's the future of Batman. Huh?
Superman's going, what?
I'm like, so much about that is so wrong.
But
Superman's dead.
To me, that's where the universe ends, though. Then you reboot again. That's when
100%. That's when you go, okay, we're done here. We're completely done. Pack your bags.
You had your trilogy or whatever, your 5 movie, whatever. Now we can go home.
I'm happy he didn't get to do it then because Jesus. All right, let's move on.
It would have been moderately worse, my dialogue, if he did. That is for goddamn sure.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way the plans would have stayed the same. Anyway, by the time he got there, there's no way. They changed before they got them. He made this movie, the Justice movie. So imagine.
That's fair. That is fair. All right. So let's see. I don't think I have anything else DC here. Let me see what else we got here. All right.
Bang.
So let's move on. Joel, how far have you got? Again, this is non-spoiler, but how far have you gotten in Sandman so far?
I'm on 9.
Oh shit. Okay. I was also really shocked that it was 10. I was definitely like by 8. I was just like, oh, you're not done yet. Like, 10. Oh shit. Okay. All right.
Oh my.
Are you enjoying it?
Love it. Fucking love it. Fucking enjoy the shit out of it.
I love it having no idea about the comic. None. Not a one.
Yeah.
Only thing I know about the comics is what AJ religiously posts on Twitter,
And
comparing how accurate it is.
It's very, I'm about to say it's very close to the comic, which I appreciate because no one gets that close. And for a show that took its liberties on certain characters, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate what they were able to do visually, right? Like visually, what they're doing with this show is just like, god damn, bro. Trayvon, how far have you gotten? Just episode 1 or 2?
No, I'm on episode 6.
Okay, that's pretty far. Okay.
Okay.
Thoughts.
Okay, tell us. Again, this is non-spoiler. But like if you have questions or something, like go ahead. Again, remember, I've never read the comic, so I'm not going to be here saying anything. So I'm not going to be here saying anything.
I'm also not very. I know a lot about it, but I never read it.
So go ahead. What are your thoughts? Again, remember, don't spoil anything.
Damn it. I don't know. I don't think I can talk about it then. It's just something that happens in it. I can't talk about it. I don't know. We can't talk about it then.
We'll talk about it when we go off air. We'll talk about it when we go off air. But like, are you enjoying any aspects of it?
I am. I am enjoying it a lot. I think they're really good. And then it's something episode 5 just pissed me off. But anyway, other than that, I was like, this is really cool. You know. And it's really good. It's really fun. The drama. They're dramatic. They're sassy, which I love it. I love that. And yeah, wardrobe and stuff like that is really cool. Especially one time where they kind of do something. I don't know. There's a wardrobe switch in here that is really cool. That I thought was really done really well. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, that's neat. I like the characters a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't like how they say Constantine.
I'll say this: the coolest costume.
That was a choice.
The coolest costume change, and this isn't a spoiler at all, is watching a demon come out of a body. Was the coolest costume change. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a way to do that.
You're like, what the fuck?
I'm watching it, and I was just like my hand was over my eyes.
As a person who is a huge fan of Constantine, the character of John Constantine, the one I grew up loving from the Hellblazer comic books. Mm-hmm. I was telling April the other day. I was like, I'm upset that the character's not in this in a way because they replaced it with her, Joanna.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I do love the fact that visually they're very different type of characters. Like she's a brunette, she looks like she's clean, like she wears like a white trench coat. But they're very much the same character in spirit.
She's 100% an asshole.
She doesn't smoke,
but she is an asshole. Yeah.
But she's very much. They're very similar character. I'm like, I love that. She's similar but different. Because she doesn't look anything like him, but she acts just like him. You know what I mean? Like,
is it based off of that one? Like, which one came first? Like, who? Like, I know they changed the woman. Like, okay, so this Joanna, is based off of DC, kind of, or is it what?
Joanna Constantine in the comic book is his descendant in the past.
Okay.
Remember, there's a point where you, without spoiling it, in the comics at least, she's the Joanna Constantine, and then later on, he is her descendant. In this, it's just.
Whatever,
it's Joanna. Like, yeah.
But you see that that he was going for massive changes. Obviously, Lucifer, obviously Constantine. So to me, I just appreciated staying consistent. Right at that point, I was just like,
I mean, Lucifer is a blonde, blue-eyed character in the comic books.
Right.
She's just a woman playing him, but basically she looked like an angel, and that's what angels are always depicted, looking like her, right?
Yeah.
So you can't get too mad, even though I'm so used to Lucifer from the TV show Lucifer. Right. But you're like, fuck, I love that guy.
I will say, I don't know how it would have necessarily fit because I felt as though they made them too comical. But there is a world, if we're talking multiverse, I would have liked to have seen this Sandman in the same universe is John Constantine from the CW and Lucifer from
It could have
Fox
been.
/ Netflix.
It could have been. It's just
They did have him with Lucifer on the TV. They did do it. I said they did it.
They did it for Crisis.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated that for Crisis.
I cheered. I was like, yes.
I did too. That was one of the best parts of the whole thing. Was them interacting. But yes, you know what's funny about this show too? They use characters from the comic books, not Vertigo. Like you're gonna see Dr. Destiny at some point in the show. Now, he's not going to be referred to as Dr. Destiny, but he is John D. from the comic books. A character we've seen in Justice League cartoons and comic books. I mean, he's in this show. You're going to see Lyta Hall, who is the Golden Age Fury, who married Hector Hall, who was the son of the Golden Age Hawkman. They're not going to be Hawkman. You're not going to get any of those references, but those characters you're still used in this show, just grounded. It's not.
Right.
It has no like comic book history to it. You know what I mean?
So I'll ask you this first, Joel. Again, no spoilers. What actor or actress has stood out to you the most so far?
Good question. That's very good question.
If you want me to go first, I can go first.
Yeah, go ahead, go first, and let me think about it.
Boyd Holbrook. I don't even need time to think. I fucking love Boyd Holbrook. Like, I just do. There's something about what this man always brings to a role that I fucking love. Joel, he is slowly climbing his way to the same podium I have Andrew Koji on. And you know that there are no people on earth I love more than Andrew Koji. Andrew Koji is everything for me. Yeah. I would blow up Earth for Andrew Koji. Sorry, I'm just being honest here. But no, Boyd Holbrook is amazing in this show. What's the character's name again? Can't remember say it again. Corinthian. Oh yes, like okay. Like they made that joke there. Yeah, they made that joke there. I love what he brings to it, man. This man is super talented. Like I said, I just watched Logan again the other day. There's just something about Boyd Holbrook. I'm a massive fan of his, so he is the biggest standout for me. And I'm very interested to see where this show goes with these characters in a season 2. But Joel, you pick somebody?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I'm going to pick one, it's got to be with the character we've probably been with the most, which is Dream. Tom Sturgis's Dream. He's nailed it and it hit it out of the park as that character. It's like he's like now the epitome of what I imagined Dream to be.
Right.
As the character. I will only see Tom now for the foreseeable future as Dream, as Sandman. But aside from him, obviously he's the main character, so you spend the most time with him. I would say.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think Jenna Coleman has done a great job as Joanna Constantine.
I agree.
I loved her portrayal as Joanna, and again, it's a character that replaced the character that I'm used to. Mm-hmm. But I don't miss it as much because I think they've done a good job with that character to the point where I don't necessarily need it. Even though I would love it. Yeah, I'm fulfilled without actually having the traditional character.
Right.
You know what I mean? Also Kirby.
Yeah.
What's her Kirby? Like Howell? What is it? Death. She's also.
Oh yes. Oh shit! I didn't even mention my future wife, Gwendolyn Christie. Fucking love her to death. The woman has my heart. Love her in this. And there's a subtlety, right? And that's why I said I don't know if they necessarily would have fit because Lucifer in the show, not this show, but in the actual Lucifer show, just very animated, right?
Yeah.
And when you watch this, she's very reserved, very calculating, right?
Mm-hmm.
She never you never know what card she'll play because you're not sure what card she has.
She's very, you can't tell what she's thinking until she's talking like down to. She's literally looking down to you most of the time because she's so
100%. She's so tall, right? right.
But she's not, like you said, she doesn't yell. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Always just very same kind of, not monotone, but direct. You know what I mean? I guess.
Right. One thing, if this does get greenlit for season 2, and I believe there's no way it doesn't, one thing I do want to see from Sandman is you remember how he looked in the comics to where it looked like at certain points he didn't have a face? the hair all wild, like that kind of like. I would like to see them utilize that again. Not every episode, not every second, but in like one of those moments where he's supposed to be scaring someone, or it's supposed to be a moment where he's showing he's the omnipotent. Like, I'd love to see that, because that visual just pops from the comics, right? Like, when you look at that, it just pops. I would love to see that utilized with the character Sandman just a little bit going forward. Again, I don't need it every episode, but just here and there when you can utilize it, because it just pops to me.
You want bigger hair.
Oh, well, just like a bad hair day, essentially. like that look. I would love something like that, right?
Yeah.
Where it kind of looks more scary and creepy.
He doesn't show his bare chest enough. I agree.
Like right here, he looks like a Naruto villain. Like, I want to see a little bit more of that going forward. But Javon, so far you said you're only at 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has there been a standout for you, actor-wise or character-wise?
Yeah, I can't really go into this scene or I'm talking about, but Rosemary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, love her from Ted Lasso, but I was like, oh, look at she's in here, and then I was like, oh, with a dark scene. I was like, okay. Also David Thewlis. I didn't like it. It didn't even hit me at first. Like when a song was like, it's familiar. Then he started talking. I was like, Remus. Sorry for Harry Potter. I was like, oh my god. I was like, yes, look at this. This is great. And he was, wow. Episode what? 5? 4? Whatever episode was. Dark Man.
Yeah. That's Dr. Destiny.
Okay.
Do you remember the episode of Justice League when Batman has to drink coffee to stay awake?
Yes. Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, okay.
Except
okay.
They're obviously grounding it, but that's the same character basically.
Okay.
Remember the crossover that had the Dark Superman, the black costume, the first time you saw Batwoman?
Yes.
With the book, remember the whole book, the dude with the glasses at the book? He's the one that was Superman, remember?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's Dr. Destiny as well.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Damn. See, this is why I tell you guys, we need a Joel always. Like, you just always need a Joel, right? He's working on cloning himself, so you can buy him. No, but I agree, Joel and Trayvon. Those are both standouts to me. I mean, honestly, everybody in this show is doing amazing. Yeah. Everybody, top to bottom. They're really, really, really fucking good. I just want to say, no, go ahead.
What I'm about saying, that first episode is just really, because I didn't know anything about this. It really blew my way on how much they did in the first episode. I was like, oh shit, oh, okay, we're not done. Okay, I was like, wow, all right, yeah, that was amazing what they did with that, and it didn't feel like rushed somehow, but it was a lot happened in the first episode. I was really
every time you think it's done, there's like another 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow. So yeah.
And like I said, when I got to 8, I was just like, all right, cool, y'all wrapping it up. And then when they said play next episode, I'm like, there's more? Like, and then you see how it ends, and you're like, oh yeah, there had to be more. So thank God. But yeah, we definitely hope that it gets greenlit. And you guys stay tuned. We'll definitely do a spoiler review in the not too distant future. Okay, we'll definitely do a spoiler review.
Sandman is all my love right now.
Yeah, because I have to make sure it's on a day where AJ can do it. AJ will kill me if I don't let him be a part of that. So I just got to find a time where he's good. All right, let's move on. Did we want to talk a little bit? And Mike, you don't have to worry about bringing anything up for this. This is relatively new, but apparently Idris Elba said he's got something big going on with DC. Joel, to me and you, this isn't necessarily. I'm only on episode 1, and I liked it. Can't wait. I'm telling you, you'll love the rest. When you see the rest, reach out to us. Let us know your thoughts. But please. You'll definitely love the rest. I promise you. But Idris Elba's comments, Joel, is not new to me and you, because we suspected that when James Gunn said he has a few projects that he's working on, we assumed this character was one of them, because this character can't be a part of the Suicide Squad again if Will Smith is trying to come back as Deadshot. You're legit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Plus the way it ended in the Suicide Squad, I don't know. Plus Suicide Squad last time we checked, it's kind of debunked. I mean, like defunct or whatever.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, so that's why a lot of us are thinking that the next move is going to be Amanda Waller establishing checkmate and them going from there. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
So to me, this wasn't all that shocking because I really believe that he was coming back. He would get his own series, and it would be cover your ears, Trayvon. Maybe an origin, like seeing a lot of how he became who he was.
Maybe.
Go ahead, Trayvon. What are you gonna say?
Okay. I'm like processing what you're saying. I'm like, origin? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because to me, I'm like, I mean, yes, you could do present day, but there's a lot about that story that I'm very intrigued in.
Superman identity.
We need a Superman for it to work.
Oh, well, I'm saying an origin in the sense of it could be flashbacks, and in a season 2, hopefully by season 2, you'll have established a Superman by then. Then you can have one of those scenes be he shot Superman. Or if it's even still canon to what's happening right now in the DC universe, right? Because whoever you get to be the head of DC, they got to figure out how to mix all these things, right? Because I'm like, the next time I see Superman, I want to hear about the fact that he was shot. Right, like you can't just skip over that. Like you were shot.
Yeah. They definitely got to
tell me that's important. Yeah, to me that's very important. So I hope they don't skip over that. To me that's very important. But Joel, I was essentially speaking for you, but I apologize. I pass it to you. Was this shocking at all, or was this kind of just like this is one of the assumptions we made, and now this seems like it's more or less confirming it?
I don't know. When it comes to Bloodsport, I don't know what to think because he's not a very big character. You got a very big actor attached to a very minor character, so it's like they can do whatever they want with that character. And apparently, it's something big, and by big, is it his own show or is he a major player in another project, like series? I'm assuming, or a movie. I don't know because it's like I have no idea. Now a lot of rumors as always that come out like, oh, he's coming out of his own TV show or whatever the fuck. We don't know that for sure. Like we never know that for sure. But he's saying we got something, so I'm happy we will be seeing him again because he was one of the better parts of that movie, honestly.
100%, and I would like to see where that tech came from.
Oh yeah, that's a big question because that was definitely new. That was not a Bloodsport thing.
I would like to see it. I know we don't ever need things to be that connected, but I would have loved it if that came from Ted Kord, like it was stolen from Ted Kord, like it was a prototype. And he kind of tinkered with it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But to me, I'm kind of like, when you think about it, think about how the MCU always makes things to where it's like, if it's tech-based, it had to have come from Tony Stark somehow, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I would like them to establish Ted Kord of being the technology guru in the DC universe.
You want him to be the Iron Man of the universe?
Yeah, I want him to be the Iron Man of the universe, where it's like, any tech you need, it's Ted Kord. It's like, Ted Kord is where all this good shit comes from, right? Like, this is where everybody goes. I would like that. I really would. So I'd be interested to see where they go. But again, do you hear what we're talking about and how frustrating it is? Because it's like, I can't even begin to think about that because I got to see how you piece together this universe first, right? There is no Ted Kord, as far as we know.
As far as you know, there's a Blue Beetle movie being made, and we still don't know if there's a Ted Kord.
Exactly, right. We heard the rumors, but they were immediately debunked that Jason Sudeikis
was, we know there's a Kord in a movie. We know there's a Kord in the movie. We just, as far as you know, it's not Ted. So what the fuck?
Yeah, that's very confusing. But Trayvon, what are your thoughts on what Idris was saying? Like, do you think this will lead to a Bloodsport series, or do you think they might do something completely random and give him a whole new character to utilize?
I feel like they can't do that. I feel like they have to use Bloodsport. I just don't see them giving him a brand new character. I just don't. See, it's funny because I remember when Peacemaker was coming out, I was like, "The hell is this gonna be about?" I was like, we haven't even. But it was funny because we haven't even met the character yet, and then we're doing a show. I was like, "How does that make any sense? What's going over there?" But now that we've met him, I'm like, okay, it would be cool to see how he ended up in there, especially off of the Superman shooting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, if it's not leading up to that, I don't know how interested I am, to be honest.
I get you.
Yeah.
Being a little skeptic, I get you.
Yeah.
Being skeptic of, I gotta wait till I see it to really know
Yeah.
how interested I am. I don't necessarily disagree.
I'll see it, of course, but yeah.
A lot of that was me a little bit for Peacemaker. I needed to see it to really gauge
I was honestly
how interested I was.
only person that seemed excited for Peacemaker at the time. So it's like,
Well, that's because remember you had knowledge of Peacemaker even
Yeah.
before Suicide Squad, right? A lot of us only knew about Peacemaker from Suicide Squad, so your interest was a little different because historically and more so what John Cena was bringing to it. But for us, it was more so just like if you don't really like John
Woo!
Cena,
yeah,
what's
right.
your interest, right? It's like where's my interest coming from? And that show blew me out of the water.
That got greenlit before the movie came out. So you're like,
Right.
what the fuck, really?
Even more, and then I love how James Gunn has tried to come out there and rectify, like, no, you never know. This could be a prequel. It's like, James, no, stop it. But then you watch the show and you're like, elements of this could have been a prequel. Like, if you told me this was a prequel, I could have bought it, right? Because you only got to change around a few elements of that series, and it could have been a fucking prequel right before he got locked up. So I'm like, yeah, that could have worked. So apologies to that, man. All right, our next topic, we only got a few more before we get out of here. Our next topic is one that was essentially breaking news as of an hour ago. But apparently Sonic 3 is not only greenlit, but apparently has a date of December 20th, 2024.
Sweet. So we'll be getting that after Fantastic Four. No, Blade. Sorry, Blade.
Yeah, after Blade. I don't like that. I was really hoping that they had already started working on Sonic 3 when Sonic 2 was done.
That's a long time. We're going to have to wait 2 years.
That is. And Trayvon, way more so than Joel, you understood seeing Shadow and Supersonic sent me into a whirlwind.
Supersonic hit me hard. All right.
But Shadow didn't.
Shadow, I can give a fuck. Those three right there. Those are my guys. You know, those are what I grew up with.
That's who we all grew up with. But then when Shadow was introduced, I was just like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go with that guy.
Well, Sonic, so that's why
I mean, look, I did the same thing with Dragon Ball Z. It's fucking Goku every day of my life. And then Vegeta popped in. And I said, well, like that guy.
It's not like Vegeta was almost there from the beginning. So
no, you had Dragon Ball. Then you had Dragon Ball Z.
How many people were introduced to Dragon Ball first?
Piccolo was introduced in Dragon Ball.
No. I'm talking people in general.
Oh, no. I was only talking about me. So
you watched Dragon Ball before you watched Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
How good for you.
No. That's what I'm saying.
I've
I've been Super Goku, and then that Saiyan saga came with Vegeta and Nappa, and I was just like, well, kind of really like this fucking Vegeta guy. And I was just like, oh, well, Vegeta. That's where I'm going now. I'm Team Vegeta, and I've been Vegeta ever since.
Dragon Ball came out in the 80s.
It still came out on
we all watched the Cartoon Network. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This is the 80s show.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you watched it. It's old animation.
I get what you're saying. I thought you were saying like you didn't watch it in the 80s. No, of course not. But no, I really love Dragon Ball. I actually like Dragon Ball a lot more than the first season of Dragon Ball Z.
So the Saiyan saga you loved.
Huh? Yeah.
That's the first season.
Yeah.
Saga.
Well, Saiyan Saga to a degree. The whole Raditz shit.
It was all good until we get to it was all shit until we get to Vegeta.
Yeah, when Vegeta stepped in, I was just like, oh, well, here we go. But yeah, so for me, it's always been Sonic, right? And then I did swerve from Sonic to Knuckles because it was just different. It was drastically different.
I never changed.
Yeah. Because to me, it was just like I didn't know of a Knuckles, right? And I'm like, he's fucking
Knuckles was cool.
Shit.
I mean, he could climb walls, he can glide. That was all new mechanics we didn't have at the time.
Fucking love that. And then step foot into the early 2000s, mid 2000s, Shadow comes, and I'm like,
let's give Sonic a gun. I mean, let's give Shadow a gun.
To be fair,
stupidest thing I've ever saw.
You never get to play with Shadow with a gun, so that to me that's more folklore than anything else. That's like it happened, but
was that not a game with him with two fucking rifles?
No,
that was not a thing.
No, it wasn't in a game where you could shoot with Shadow that I know of. I never played it.
Was there not a game where he could shoot?
I don't know.
I've never played it. If it was, I never
played. Yeah.
I played Sonic Adventures 2, which was Shadow, and then they made a game for Game Boy Advance that was Shadow.
Yes.
and then it made a game for Game Boy Advance that was with Shadow. I
It was a
played those
solo
two.
yeah,
Apparently, there's a Shadow game by itself. I didn't know.
yeah,
that.
Shadow the Hedgehog, and it's him with a fucking rifle on it.
I didn't.
I never played it. Yeah, I never played it.
Look at
I never played that.
I didn't know that.
Never
Wow.
played it. So I
That
was
was
very
one of the
unaware of that.
stupidest things I ever saw. But yes, yeah, to me, just, he was created to be like a Sonic rival, and I think that's he fit it perfect because he doesn't really run; he like hovers, right? He like floats almost.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
pretty
But Trayvon, I want to ask you first. Obviously, seeing that
They
his
better.
bullets go fast.
They better go fast.
I mean,
He's faster
shit.
than his own bullets.
I mean, you kind of have to. Didge says the Shadow game was amazing. Okay, so it's something that if I find to be available somewhere, I'll try. I
stop,
didn't even know
Rich.
it was a game. I didn't know it was a game.
You must have been
Um,
impressionable at that time.
I mean, it could have been a good game, Joel.
I doubt
I do want to ask you though, Trayvon. Obviously, seeing that we're being introduced into Shadow, how long do you think we need to wait before we get Chaos? Like, do you think that's a long Thanos kind of wait, or do you think that might be a side plot maybe in the very next one?
I mean, honestly, seeing Supersonic was not something I thought we would get anywhere close to in the second movie.
100.
So I was like,
awesome.
I was like, I know they're not. when it started happening, and he was out there, I was like, what? I was like, okay. And then for them to show Shadow, like, I mean, maybe they like, look, if these things agree, then let's do it. I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like
Shadow breathe before you bring in Chaos and stuff like that.
No, because to me, Shadow should always be looked at as like the Vegeta type, to where he's not a good guy, but he's also not necessarily purely your bad guy, right? So I'm like, you need a definitive villain that essentially Shadow helps you defeat, but he still looks at you like, it's still fuck you, Sonic. Like, that didn't change, but, you know, I helped you defeat this motherfucker. So to me, that's all I'm saying. I don't definitively need a full movie of Shadow as a bad guy. I'm okay if you work in Chaos, and Chaos is who they need to stop. You know, to give Jim Carrey a break for a movie, if he still wants it, and then bring him back for maybe Sonic 4. But Chaos, to me, I think is fucking perfect. And you've already started it with the Emerald, you know? Now it's, do they find out that they need to collect all these fucking emeralds? You know what I'm saying?
How he originally turned to Supersonic, but we skip steps. It's fine.
I'm just glad that we got it. You know what I'm
It
saying?
was dope. I had no idea you can basically do whatever he wanted. It was Supersonic. All right, that's new.
He became Captain Marvel.
Yeah, with Wanda's power, because he was like manifesting chili dogs and shit.
Right? Yeah. No, he became Goku. Because that's some shit Goku would have done if he could just conjure up food.
You can wish shit.
Goku's like, I don't need Dragon Balls. I just use my infinite power to do it.
Yeah.
But Joel, because you saw it well before me and you loved it. So how excited are you that this is greenlit? Because I know you're a dates guy. So how excited were you that you got your date and the same day you got the announcement?
I'm into dates, especially when it comes to like DC and Marvel, because I put them out so I can see it.
Your visual board.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know when Sonic, and it's nice to have a date. That means they have a goal. So hopefully it comes out sooner, honestly. But
that's exactly what it is, Ditch. That's exactly.
No, yeah. There's still a debate till this day. What came first, Super Saiyan or Supersonic? That's a debate.
It's Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan definitely came.
Because it was around the same time when it happened.
Yeah, Super Saiyan definitely came.
It was really close to each other, and they look very similar. It's like it can't be a coincidence.
That's why Dragon Ball Z was just like, all right, the different Saiyan forms, he has to have different hair, right? Because Sonic's not gonna change his fucking hair, so we gotta change the hair for this motherfucker. All right, make it long.
I would do. You got to give the others a try. That being super at some point would be cool. Because we never get it enough. Like I forgot what the other one was. Turbo Tails, Hyper Knuckles, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But that's cool that they have their own forms. But yeah, I'm very excited for Sonic 3 because Sonic 3, I just want to see it in their world. I want to see his world. Like I don't mind being on Earth, but like even in this world, I wanted to see more of the levels I grew up playing too. I would like to see what that, and you know what I mean. That would be cool for me. I would love to see that side of things. I don't think it's gonna happen. because they seem to be living on Earth at the moment.
Pulling the Transformers.
Yeah, I mean, if they go dimensional hopping again, that'd be fun. Hopefully, we'll get to see some more of their universe. I'm just hopefully maybe we introduce Amy. You know, that like I would like to see Amy at some point.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's his girl, literally. So like,
no. I didn't mean it like I didn't agree. I meant it more so like I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that at all.
Yeah, one of the characters, super playable character too. So cream and cheese, them too. I'm not seeing them. There's a lot of characters.
I remember those characters.
There's a lot of characters that they could introduce, you know, that were part of that same Sonic Adventures time period, and there are a lot of cool looking characters too.
There's a robot in there too.
I would love to see Robo Sonic. God damn it, I've been saying that, Robot Sonic. We got to see the giant one, but I want to see like, Robo Sonic.
Oh, I can see that robot that created that.
Yeah, I can see that too.
I can see that as a villain.
Yeah, Robo Sonic.
I'm not pulling up any more images of Sonic. Fandom is nasty. Yeah. There are very few fandoms, Mike, that aren't nasty.
Bullying works, okay?
God bless you.
On that one, bullying worked.
Sure
So no, I'm very excited into what you were saying, Joel, about Turbo Tails. I kind of hope that they don't achieve that, because there was something, and again, I know I keep going back to Dragon Ball Z, but there's something so fulfilling about seeing Goku continue to ascend, and Vegeta's just like, oh, I'm a Saiyan, and Goku's like, oh, word, yeah, I've been Super Saiyan 7 for like 4 months now, so
but
maybe try to catch up.
That's
like,
now I'm a god.
Yeah, now I'm a god. I'm a literal god, right? So I like the separation of, look, I am clearly not only the focus, but way more powerful than
the Blue Form's official title is Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, how much more ridiculously powered do you need to be?
And it's Rose. Yeah.
And then there's
Rose.
There's Rose. Yep.
Yes,
and here's the crazy part: Dragon Ball Z's not stopping anytime soon. He'll get even more powerful, right? He'll become Universal God, Super Saiyan God, Universal. Wait, based off of the movie that just came out?
No, the one.
Rose is the most recent one I know of.
There you go.
Other than the movie.
Oh my God! There's no way that's a thing, right?
It could
hey,
be.
look. If we ever got like a Marvel vs. Capcom game with these two, I'd love that.
Sonic
shit.
God mode.
Like, I'd love that.
Yeah, what the hell's the name? They named Shaggy turns into it too. They made fun of it was joking on Dragon Ball Z. Someone knows this. What is the last form he fought this dude in Super?
Oh, that he fought.
Last level before. Like,
was it Rose? Was it Rose?
I thought it was.
No, Rose when they were pink, weren't they?
Yeah, that was after God.
Yeah, that was after. That was after God. It was Rose.
No, there is a damn form where it's not
Ultra
even
Instinct.
Ultra Instinct. There you go.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It's like regular. He goes back to normal. It's like black and gray, and he's like auras.
I remember that one. Okay.
Yeah,
that's his like
Ultra
super. That's the most powerful form so far.
Yeah.
Ultra
By
Instinct.
the way, there's nothing more frustrating than playing that Kakarot game and utilizing Ultra Instinct and having your health deplete as you're trying to fucking kill somebody. It's like, bitch, I can't do both.
Like,
That's right.
They're like dodge fist and try not to internally die. Like, bitch, I can't do both.
Instinct Goku. And like I don't know what happens in Super Hero that Goku's not involved as much, but I'm curious.
I think they were trying to just give Gohan more of a focus.
It looks like it's actually gray. It's not gray though, because it's actually just black. But like I guess based on like the lighting.
I remember it now. Like nobody could touch him or anything. Like he was like,
he was.
It was crazy.
He was
outrageous.
That has to be so frustrating as a villain in the Dragon Ball Z world, right? Like picture you're like, yo, I'm the shit. You laying and you're beating the dog shit out of Goku, and then just randomly Goku's just like, oh wait, I'm stronger than you now. And it's like, no, no, like, like no, that's not fair.
It's so funny.
Look,
this has to be the last transformation. You went back to just normal hair, basically. That has to be the most powerful form. How can you get more powerful than that at this point?
Nah, they're gonna
the hair will grow longer and another glow.
Nah,
but still be black hair.
He's gonna go both.
They'll have the tail pop out. They'll just have the tail pop out. That's what's gonna
now
happen
it's fucking
next.
Super Saiyan 4 and fuck that.
Yeah, they have the tail pop out. That's the only other place they can go. I mean, you're running out of colors here.
Like, you really are.
You're hitting all the major.
Ultra
the color
Instinct
groups.
is the last.
Yes, Joel. To Digit's point, those are two different forms.
But does his hair actually turn white?
For one of them, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, because look, you can see the gray or the white streaks on even that black one. It's just like the way, it's not like Super Saiyan, which definitely
purely yellow. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I mean, shit. Goku by himself is covering all of the Power Rangers just by his hair.
But that's why I always say, like, Goku's not gonna lose to anybody. He's never gonna lose to anybody. That's why I always, when we say Goku versus Superman, I love Superman, but he's not beating Goku. Like, he's just not.
Not narratively. Damn sure not. Like, not narratively. It'll never happen narratively.
He'll knock him down, but Goku come back.
Well, if it's narrative, anybody can win. I can write whatever.
No. Goku is specifically the only character I've ever read that narratively just finds a way, right? Like Superman, you can make an argument that Darkseid and Superman are dead even, right? So it's like if either one ever gets a step over, it's not hard to believe because they're more so dead even, right? But with Goku, he'll be fighting somebody, getting the dog shit beat out of him, and then you'll blink and you're like, how did you just become stronger than me by 10 folds? That's narrative. Superman doesn't have that, right? So where it's just like, well, narratively, we just made it to where your farts now can explode a head. Like, no, but with Goku, that shit happens. You know what I'm saying? That's I'm like, narratively, Goku definitely appeases that a lot more than Superman.
I just don't see. Most anime characters are ridiculously powerful.
It's true.
And there's always levels, and I kind of appreciate that. Everyone has like an extra level. Well, for the most part, not all of them, but a lot of them. And he's definitely the most OP fucking character.
He might be the godfather of OP. He might be godfather OP.
He might be tier 1. Yeah.
All right. Our next topic. Peter Jackson says Amazon ghosted him on the Lord of the Rings series. Quote, they said, as soon as we get the first couple of scripts, we'll send them to you. And the scripts never showed up. That's the last thing I heard, which is fine. No complaints at all.
You didn't ask about them.
Let me be fair. This is exactly what I think happened, right? I think that when Peter Jackson reached out, right, Amazon was definitely just like, yeah, we'll keep in contact. And then somebody in the higher-ups went, hey, quick question. It's like, Peter Jackson owned Lord of the Rings? And they were like, no, of course not. And they were just like, well, why the fuck are we sending him shit? And they're like, I don't know, bro. We don't have to. And they're just like, all right, great. We're not. Fuck them. And that's just what happened. Now, do I think that that's right? No. I think there might have been some things that Peter Jackson could have maybe narratively added to your story. But again, I mean, fuck it. No. I mean, how many times do we watch the MCU? Do you think Feige is going to all these comic book guys and going, hey, what was your mindset when you did Civil War? He don't give a fuck. It's his now. He does whatever he wants with it. So I don't think this is a big deal at all. And honestly, I think it's a little butthurt of Peter Jackson to even bring it up. All right, they didn't fuck with you. Too bad. Like, you had your time. Joel, do you think this is more butthurt, or do you think it's a little messed up that maybe they didn't just return a call and send a script?
A little bit of both. I mean, the guy did 3 movies, and like the guy was the epitome of Lord of the Rings for the longest time. But I know the Lord of the Rings estate has issues with his version of those their story. So they're probably what's holding it down. Like, don't you fucking involve him. And they're like, okay. So they were probably just doing what they're told.
Wow.
And then they're like, and he's like, yo, what the fuck? You're going to send me shit. And he's too proud to say and ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
We probably could have got him if he really wanted him.
Yeah.
But they weren't going to listen to his fucking notes anyway. So what's the point?
Right. I mean, it's the equivalent to J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson made 3 movies. George Lucas was never brought on set. But when you watch Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni work, George Lucas is always there. There's just a difference. Some guys don't give a fuck what came before. Some guys do. Some guys want everything that helped mold what it was. They want some of that same magic to come back. We just watched a whole trilogy where more, and I'm not saying J.J. Abrams or Rian Johnson had any issues with George Lucas, but George Lucas very much said, I wasn't really a part of that shit. Like Mandalorian and stuff like that. Yeah, they brought me on. I talked. I told them how I felt. Outside of that, nah, not really that much involved. So it happens. But Trayvon, how do you view this? Was this salty on Peter's part for even saying this? Could he have kept it just as, nah, we spoke, but, you know, I wanted them to kind of just do their own thing? Or do you think maybe Amazon should have maybe, you know, look to them for some help? Because those movies are very well received by the fandom, right? Very well received. That fandom does not allow you to talk shit about those movies.
It's just like, to me, this is almost just like how the Netflix thing is going with Last Airbender, of the original people that created it not being involved, and now everybody's skeptical about the series they're making. It's going to be the same way with this. You're saying he's not involved. People are like, well, I like those movies that we had. Now you're telling me he has no involvement at all? Is this even going to be anything like what I remember? Like, you know, I want people to start thinking that way. Yeah. So for him to say that, he has to know what it would do. It puts like a dark cloud over it. Yeah. Like when you do that, that's what it does. It puts a dark cloud over it. Just like when, like I said, I keep bringing this up, but you know, with Multiverse of Madness, he was like, I didn't watch WandaVision. If I had heard that before I watched it, it would have been very, like, I would have been very cautious. I'd be like, okay, what do you mean? Like, is she not going to have her powers here at the end? What does that mean? But I saw the movie, so I was like, all right, fine.
It's like Hellboy, too. Very similar.
Yeah. Like, but he actively wanted to.
He did. He so fucking did. He really did. That's fucked up.
And he succeeded.
Was not that bad, that movie. It was not bad at all.
He succeeded. See, I don't know if that'll happen. Like, The Last Airbender, I don't know.
I hope it's good. It look.
I hope so, but we have seen nothing. Great. Like, we literally seen nothing. So I don't know.
The cast was great. That's about it.
Here's the bright spot for me. I never knew, and I currently don't know any fucking thing about Lord of the Rings, right? So I can go in knowing I don't really know any fucking thing. So I'm a sponge to whatever they choose to do, right? It doesn't seem like it's fucking with the canon that we know exists, right? So now it just comes down to, all right, are you retconning things that might have been said in those movies, right? Like I told you, the struggle of doing the fucking Kenobi series of, you're in a minefield and you got to be very careful where you walk, because one major thing that's said, not done, said, explodes everything for the fan base, right? So I'm like, as long as they understand that you might have that minefield and you avoid all the big possible things, again, I don't know what those could be. To me, by all means, you do your thing, because I know you put too much money behind it. Go ahead.
You haven't seen the movies either?
No, I have. I'm saying I don't know about the books. I don't know about the books.
I have not seen any one of the Lord of the Rings movies. I saw the Hobbit movies.
Those are my favorite.
Movies.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
I tried to read that first book, and I said, look, it's too much greenery, walking, or whatever y'all got going on, so I know I can't get through this movie. I heard the movies are like that, and the first one at least. I was like, I can't do it.
I'll say this. I think, and this is just my opinion, I think a lot about what makes Lord of the Rings so good is that when you watch it in the time it came out in, there was just nothing really like it, right? Okay. But watching it now and going back as someone that's never seen it, there might be elements to it to where you're just like, nah, you know? But in that time, there was fucking nothing like Lord of the Rings, right? Joel, am I wrong? Am I wrong there? There was nothing like Lord of the Rings. That shit was just like...
There's still certain things still don't touch Lord of the Rings.
Everything Jawan said is wrong. Again, I didn't say those movies were bad. I just said if you've never seen them in the time and you're watching them fresh now, I could see how there's certain elements of that just don't really vibe well, is all I'm saying. Okay, that's fair. But again, like I said,
your channel's going against you.
Apparently, right? Funny. Apparently. Because it doesn't even say Mike's name, so it sounds like the whole brand is going against me. But yeah, I've seen both, and I do prefer Hobbit. I do prefer Hobbit over the original trilogy.
I've seen both. I prefer the Lord of the Rings. That's because I think that they rely on too much CGI. In the Hobbit? Yeah. Especially with the...
Smaug?
No, Smaug's fine. It looks great. The orcs, right?
Yeah.
I like the practical effects of the orcs.
That's fair. No argument there. That's fair. I can get down with that. I just narratively and everything. A lot more about it appealed to me than the original Lord of the Rings. It's maybe less journey. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I like.
But anyway,
that's probably me. Though.
It's somebody that don't even like to walk to the fridge. I'm like,
you're not walking. You're
watching
watching and walking.
Oh man, I got tired
Also,
from just that shit.
I have to say one of the worst movie experiences was watching one of the Hobbit movies because there was these two girls talking throughout the entire fucking movie to the point where I wanted to say something, but I knew they would have got more ratchet and ridiculous. I'm like, this is never gonna end. The whole movie, like we're fucking not in the theater. Like, are you serious right now? The worst.
Oh man, I've only had an experience like that when I saw Twilight New Moon. It wouldn't stop fucking talking, and I still to this day have no idea what any of the fucking dialogue in that movie is. They just wouldn't stop talking.
They fucked up that whole movie. I mean, the movie was good, but I couldn't hear all of it. So it's like
Joel's just like, for today, I hear nothing. I see everything.
Yep.
All right, our last topic as we get out of here. It has indeed been confirmed that Lady Gaga will be in the sequel for The Joker, playing Harley Quinn. And I did find out the way to pronounce it, I think, from my very brief time learning French. Foule du is apparently, I believe. Foule du. Is how Foule du.
Making a fool of me.
Wrong.
You're gonna skip the A then?
You said making a fool of me?
For watching this, yeah.
I hate you, Trayvon. This is very cool to me because what I would very much like to see them utilize with this is that this is one massive therapy session, and he's again concocting this entire adventure and love story that he creates with Harley, only for us to find out none of that shit was real, right? You know, and I'm like, for me, I know a lot of people are like, well, you can't do that twice in a row. For a movie, I still to this day don't give a shit about. You could double down on whatever the fuck you want to double down on. You could do the same plot again, word for word. I wouldn't care.
Come on.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. I don't care. That's why I said, as a standalone, you do what you want. I don't give a shit.
Absolutely.
But Joel, are you excited to see what Lady Gaga can bring to Harley Quinn?
I'm intrigued. I don't know if I'm excited. I am intrigued to the cast, seeing her portrayal of Harley Quinn. Or what is she gonna look like as opposed to him or them together? I'm just. I guess this is a better alternative than just a random ass Joker Harley movie for me.
Which was your alternative?
That was. I didn't want to see one of those. Like, I don't see. But if this is gonna be like based off of that version of the Joker with Lady Gaga, I mean that's at least like you're at least intriguing me a little bit more because I did enjoy that movie and the idea of Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn in a spin-off, not spin-off, but like a sequel. Awesome. I mean that sounds awesome. Now the whole musical aspect of it kind of keeps not a big musical person, so I got to see how much of that is musical, but. I am intrigued because that he's a fucking Joaquin Phoenix was awesome as Joker. So
yeah, Trayvon, are you excited for Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn?
She's a great actress.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
She's a great singer.
Mm-hmm.
That she is.
Trying to be.
There's a lot of dead air here, Trayvon.
I'm trying to think what to say here. So okay, so I don't just know how I feel about this. I don't know.
Like about this movie or about her casting?
No, she's fine. I mean, I guess I don't know. His character is nuts enough to be having like a full-blown musical in his head. Sure, that is very clear. He could do that.
But I could say that ditch about the first one. Like
yeah.
I didn't need that either.
That's what I mean. Like that first movie was like when I first heard about it, I'm like, that sounds so stupid. Why do we need a Joker solo movie? Made $1 billion. It was not bad at all.
And didn't he win an award for something?
Yeah.
Yeah, won awards too. So it's like, and the movies that were based off of were good too. So
Yeah.
Also, film I watched once. I watched the first one. I watched it once. I was like, okay, he's nuts. He kind of the guy at the end kind of deserved it. I don't know where they go from here. That's how I felt. That's why I was like, when they announced this, I was like,
no one wants a sequel.
Well, I understood
why?
especially with this announcement, I understood where you can go. Now you explore what his life is like in Arkham, right? And it's like, okay, I know where you could go. It's just the problem is the same, Trayvon. You don't need to do it. It's the problem I keep having. Right? That's where I keep full circling. But to me, I understood where you can go. Yeah, put that that comment of Digits up, Mike. I think we all to a degree can agree with that. But again, you bring in Lady Gaga, so
yeah,
at
least you're gonna go for it.
Because to me and Joel, we hear this all the time talking to directors. There's no way that Lady Gaga was the second piece to this puzzle. I believe that he thought to himself, what if I could do like a musical and get Lady Gaga to be Harley Quinn? Like, I believe that was all one idea, not let me do a musical with Harley Quinn. Oh, maybe Lady Gaga. I believe Lady Gaga was what he envisioned when he wanted to do this. So that's why I'm like, well, I mean, do we know anybody else that could fit this bill better?
Yeah.
I don't.
Should have done. Shouldn't even told us it was a musical.
You know what it reminds me of now? Now we're talking about it, I'm like, this movie's gonna be like modern day Sweeney Todd and shit, isn't it? It's gonna be like
Yeah. And you know what's so unfortunate about that?
What?
I really enjoyed Sweeney Todd.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
So for somebody that hates musical, like, and it's so funny
Same
because
here.
I believe not right around like the same year, but not far from each other when that was coming out, that fucking Hugh Jackman one was coming. Yes, and then I remember my mom was like, "Well, you want to see that? No fucking way. No, I only got one of these in a lifetime. No way. I'll do Sweeney Todd. I won't do that one. No, thank you." No,
you talking about The Greatest Showman or
no.
Les
Miserables. Yeah, Les Miserables. Yeah. Yeah, once they told me, oh, hey, Russell Crowe is singing. Okay, yeah, you lost me.
It was great though. So was
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt either one of those, Trayvon. There's no hate coming towards musicals. It's just not for me. I can't fucking do. I can't do singing a conversation. Like, I can't do that shit, Trayvon. It hurts.
So you're not gonna watch this?
I have to. I can't avoid it. Now, if this was like something else that was starring these two in it, that had nothing to do with Joker or Harley Quinn, no, I'd never fucking watch it.
That's true.
But because it's Harley Quinn and Joker, it's part of my job. I gotta watch it. I gotta do it. Gotta watch it. You think I wanted to watch Hawkeye when I saw the end credit scene of that fucking singing?
Oh,
I shut that shit right off.
As soon as I started, I'm like, this may waste.
It was funny.
Man, I was waiting for them to pan to somebody in the audience or something, and it never came. And I said, "You sat here and made me watch that full shit for the hell of it." Oh no, fuck y'all, all the way, like all the way. All right, last comment before we get out of here. The Joker 2 is just going to be that Batman musical scene in the Batman Beyond, but a whole movie.
Oh God,
that's fair.
Yo, what about those the Marvel picks that dropped?
Oh shoot! Sorry. Really quickly, let me send those to you, Mike. My apologies. I completely forgot. I have them. I'll send them to.
Those are pretty
Mike.
big.
Those are huge. Those are really big.
Photos.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. My sister actually lives in Atlanta, and she was telling me about how they where they're filming it, they created a White Castle because there's no White Castles in Atlanta, and apparently that's going to be a big scene for whatever the hell. But they created a White Castle. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
That's weird. There's no White Castle in Atlanta.
No, there's not. That's why they created one. They created a White Castle. And what I mean by that, so no one gets confused, they didn't create one to open it up for business. They created it just for the show.
For the show, yeah.
Right, or just for the show. But I felt really fucking offended. I'm like, damn, bro, you gonna just film this shit in fucking New Jersey? There's like a White Castle, like a liquor store, like on every corner. God damn, you fucking had to go that far. Okay. All right. Mike saying that might be a little risky showing off set photos, so we could talk about it.
That's right. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we could talk about it. So we obviously get a shot of Riri in her Mark 1 armor, I believe, even though technically I think Black Panther 2 might be her Mark 1.
Yeah, that will probably consider Mark 1. This is, I guess, 2. I keep seeing people say
Stark
4.
jumps, though. Yeah, because Stark jumped.
Good.
Stark did Mark 1, Mark 2. Then it felt like there was Mark 15, and I'm like, I missed something.
By the end of the first Iron Man movie, it was basically 3, right? I think it was because I
think so. I think the final version, like his final suit, was the third.
3, yeah.
Yeah, it was the third one because the first one was coming out of the cave.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I guess he could say because he altered it. But yeah, there technically is only 2 because that silver suit was the same suit. He just painted
it. But I don't think he considers that Mark II, though.
No, I think he renamed it to Mark III. Because I think that's what he was calling it in Iron Man 2. That was his Mark III armor.
Yeah, because it was a new suit already by the thing at the beginning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the triangle, whatever. Ironheart is the focus right now.
Yeah. And her suit looks like an episode of Halo. So I'm very curious why it looks like that.
It's very big and bulky.
It's massive. So I'm very curious on why that looks the way that it does.
It doesn't look like it was made for her necessarily.
No.
That's probably why.
You know what it looks like? It looks like it was one of those that when Stark passed, the government was trying to make Rhodey a new suit, and that's what they came up with. And Rhodey said, "Yeah, no, I'm not wearing that shit." And Riri was just like, "Ooh, finders keepers, I'll use it." And that's where that looks like it, because it's so big. It looks like it fits Rhodey, right? Like it looks like it's supposed to be.
It looks like a version of War Machine.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it looks like a version of War Machine. Trayvon, how do you feel? What do you think about that suit?
I think it looks so cool. I don't know. I was just like, "Ooh, it's huge, but it looks really cool." I was like, I was like, okay. And I like that they built it. It's not a CGI.
Right, yeah.
It's not a CGI
practical. I mean,
okay.
She wears a version of it. Did you see the version of it with
with just the paint part?
Pieces?
Yeah.
That I like that. It's pretty cool.
I do. I like it a lot. That's what I was like, oh, that was most. I think when I saw that's what really impressed me most. I was like, I actually built this damn thing. It's not just.
Because I looked at it, I'm like, is that really her in there? And then the next picture I saw was her.
You saw it, yeah. It's like, well, that's her. And of course, we got our first look at the Hood.
The character I was not expecting.
Hood. And when I tell you guys, that motherfucker looks just like him. I mean, it's hard to fuck that up. It's just.
It really is. But you know, it's so simple that you know they would have tried to fuck it up back in the day.
You know they would have. They just would have.
This is too accurate. I think
you're like, scary
what are you
accurate.
doing,
Here's the crazy
guys?
part. We don't even know how powerful they plan on making this character. So we don't even know what they'll utilize.
From what I've read or what I've heard, it's going to implement magic a lot in this to the point where it's going to be a tech versus magic show.
Ooh, I like that, because that character in certain iterations seems like he's way too powerful.
You're with me. Because listen,
go ahead, Trayvon.
My excitement was raising as soon as you said magic. I said, well, now I'm very interested in this show, because honestly, I don't know if I was that much. But now I'm actually really interested. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
The Hood is a magic character.
I tell you what, Trayvon,
I saw a gun. I was like, okay, all right.
Well, I told you about that, Trayvon. At the end of the day, you always got to keep that blicky on you. That's all it comes down to. But he's so powerful in magic. Trayvon smiled when he said magic. He said, I tell you right now, Trayvon didn't hear a word I said till I said magic. He said, oh. The conversation just started? But his character's abilities could sometimes be looked at as way too powerful for a character that feels the need to carry 2 guns with him. But it is very powerful, so it'll be interesting to see if they loop in the Master of the Mystic Arts along with the Hood, to where maybe Wong shows up like, hey, what the fuck kind of power is this? Who'd you get this from?
I just looked at looked him up real quick. I see one of the things says dark dimension magic. I was like, oh yeah, interesting. That fits right.
That's why I said I could definitely see this character leaking into a Doctor Strange movie for sure. Right? For sure. I could 100% see it. Not a massive part of the movie, but a part enough to where it's like, well, hold on. The fuck is happening here? Who's this little motherfucker? Trayvon is like the dog from Up. Blah blah blah. Magic. Blah. Yes. Yes. Trayvon did not hear a goddamn word I said. I said magic. He didn't even know what character I was talking about. He said magic. You ain't talking about Ironheart. So who we talking about? But no, these set photos do get me very excited. And look, I'm glad that we don't have to wait until next year to get our first look at Riri. We will see that come November, right? Come November 11th,
You
I
guys saw
believe.
those pops, right?
Yeah.
Did you see those pops of her?
No, I didn't see them yet.
The
Send
pops?
them to me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't see them.
The pops for
I sent them to
Riri.
you.
You said you sent me the pops?
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
This motherfucker.
That's the interest. That's
I don't remember.
if that's what we get in Black Panther.
Oh, yes. I remember now where she looked like essentially like a trash compactor. I remember now. Yeah, I remember now.
It was colorful.
It was.
It looks dope. It just,
It was. You know for damn sure. Sure, you're gonna look at that shit and go, Mm-mm. No, you can't leave here with that shit. Can't have people thinking we built that. No. I wouldn't be surprised if Shuri built that bulky ass suit for it. Say, hey, just take this. You gotta take something. Take that.
Yeah,
there it is.
But no, look. If you're talking about the original stages, that's awesome. That's really dope.
Yeah.
That's really, really, really dope.
That's the Mark 1.
That's 100% the Mark 1. Yep, that's the Mark 1. Yeah, I like it. I'm very excited for this series. I cannot wait till we get a trailer, right, to kind of get a feel of what the stakes are for this show and where it fits. Excuse me, going forward, right? Because we know we're in a magical time. We're in a time, right? So it's like, okay, how does both the Hood and Riri build into the future of the MCU?
This is the epitome of what Doctor Doom is.
Yes.
You're gonna see it in this show. This is probably the beginning.
All these people flying around and magic.
I'm telling you right now, Trayvon, Doctor Doom is gonna enter before Secret Wars, like what's his name in that episode of the Community where everything was on fire and he walks in with the pizza. That's gonna be Doom. Like, what the fuck is happening here? Oh, well, I fit right in. Magic. Like, all right, cool. We all doing it? All right, great. This is awesome. So I can't wait to see if Doom maybe utilizes the Hood for some of his magic, right? I could see Doom trying to take him and try to steal some of that magic. There's just so many places Doom could fit. Flying in magic, that's all Trayvon wants. I'm telling you right now.
And I'm getting it. Yeah.
Me and Joel, we will be sitting in Secret Wars just like, this is beautiful. And we'll be like, Trayvon, what did you love of it? I saw more than 5 people flying. I don't really know what the fuck was happening. She was flying, he was flying, and magic was here. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. End of my review.
I loved it.
Magic and flying.
Book my ticket before I walk out of the first screening. Yep.
And you know what's terrifying, Joel? Trayvon's only gonna get more of that as we go. Like it's only gonna intensify. It won't shrink. It'll only grow. It'll only grow.
He's got one on a list of all the characters that fly. Make sure that they fly. And
About to get Dr. Fate and Black Adam. Yes.
Yeah, Trayvon's getting too much of what he wants. Yes, that's exactly what Doom's walking into. Like, oh shit, what? Magic everywhere? What? Who knew? Thank you. But yeah, I cannot wait for Ironheart. That's going to be such an awesome series.
Yeah.
And I am definitely trying to get my sister to go out there and snap some photos.
Yeah.
She's like, what if I get arrested? I said, well, I will gladly pay that bail. What are we talking about right now? If I can get a scoop.
Holmes.
Yeah, come on, man. If I can get a scoop, that's worth you spending
So
what?
use that zoom.
6 to 10
You got me
years
that
in jail.
close to zoom in.
Yeah,
Yeah, right? Yeah, come on. Phones
just did a
have great
long
technology.
lens. That's all.
Yeah, they have great technology now. But look, if you get me like 20 to 30 photos and our name really pops and you have to spend 6 to 10 years in jail, that's fair. That's a fair trade-off. I don't mind. I don't mind. That's a great trade-off. I will sleep very well at night. But no, I want to thank everybody in the comment section. You guys are rock stars today. You helped make this episode pure magic. We appreciate you so much. Please leave in the comment section below any topics you want to see us talking about going forward. Okay? Make sure you guys check out Trayvon's TikTok and his YouTube short, kind of expressing his feelings on DC's moves lately. Make sure you guys check that out. Also check out, we just did a review for Prey. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please let us know again what you'd like to hear us talk about in the comment section. But we just did a shared review with the Last Scare podcast for Prey, breaking down our thoughts on Prey, and I was very happy to see that all of us believe that was the greatest Predator movie to date. Because I don't even think the argument's close. I think this is a runaway. But you saw Prey, Joel?
Yeah, I did.
And how many times did you cry?
At least 5 times.
Just making sure. Don't be heartless. But make sure you guys check that out, our review for Prey. And make sure you guys stay tuned. Prey was amazing. Didge, we will talk more about that. Don't you worry. We will. Appreciate you, Didge. Appreciate you, man. We'll see you tomorrow, Didge, for GVN Sports. But yeah, make sure you guys check out those 2 pieces of content that we have out. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the Last Scare podcast page, okay? Jayla and that entire team has their own YouTube channel now. Make sure you guys go check it out. There's been some really great horror news that's coming down the pipeline that I can't wait to see them break down. So make sure you're subscribed for that. And make sure you're subscribing here if you are not already. All right? Subscribe, like, comment, share it. Tell your friends about it. Tell them we are the greatest geeks in the world. Because we are.
With B. Put it in the oven. Go ahead, finish it.
I don't know what the fuck Joel's saying, but yeah, do that. Do all those things. But we thank you guys so much. But do stay tuned. The MCR and a whole bunch of other content will be coming for She-Hulk in less than a week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And we promise you guys we will be doing a breakdown show for Sandman. All right? I just got to get with AJ. Cannot do it without that, man. I do not want to hear that. So stay tuned for that. But sorry. And I want to thank Mike, Trayvon, and Joel, as always, for joining me and helping make this podcast as great as it can be. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.